Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. We are going to tonight talk about and dissect some of the conspiracies that Candace has put out there. But before we get too far, I want to talk about a topic that I think is really needful on the heels of the Charlie Kirk assassination, the wonderful memorial service that happened this past Sunday, and all of the desire for the thousands, hundreds of thousands of millions of people that want to get out there and engage the culture. And I think that's an admirable goal. I am all for it. Engage the culture. I think we have to engage the culture, however, with wisdom. We have to engage the culture. For lack of a better term, we need to be very, very mindful how we move in order to engage the culture. 1 second, real quick. Okay. Make sure my other site is muted. Okay. We have to be mindful. It doesn't matter how well-meaning you are. Even your good deeds can come across in the wrong way if you don't, just for lack of a better term, know how to read the room. So we're going to look at these young guys that clearly are inspired by Charlie Kirk. My hat tip to them. I really like the fact that they want to engage people who disagree with them, but you're going to have to read the room a whole lot better than this. So we're going to look at what I think is just a total fail as it relates to attempting to engage the culture, attempting to engage people of different ideologies and different mindsets. This isn't how you do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is not how you do it. But before we get too far afield, I want to say, what's up? Mariana, thank you so much. Somebody in South Africa checking in. What's going on down there? Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tapping in with us today. Please make sure that you go ahead and hit the like button. Jump into the best live chat on the internet. Since we're talking about where we're from, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Go ahead. Now, are you somewhere better than South Africa? Because I think we got South Africa for the win right now. What's happening there? Maid 7, good to see you. Grace and peace to you as well. Thank you so very much for tapping in with us today. I'm going to pull this file in while I'm looking at some other people to jump into the most electrifying live chat on the internet. There you go, out in that Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay Area. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so very much. Now, you all know that I am a proud alumni of Morehouse College. And we're going to look at another historically Black college, Tennessee State University, TSU. I think there's a Golden Tigers. I think that's TSU Golden Tigers. Shout out to them. I think everybody's wrong in this example. You probably have seen this, by the way. I think this is everybody wrong here. The gentleman that came to engage with the students and the students that were there, I think everybody was wrong. But the police, I think everybody was wrong. And I think everybody had a right as well. So I think they're right and I think they're wrong. Shout out to what's going on, D. Marie. Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and Vista, California in the building. Good to see you, Copeland. Thank you so much. There is Brian. Hey, friend. Grace and peace to you. Upstate New York, over there by Syracuse. Thank you so very much for stopping through. Now, y'all probably have seen this, and it was all over the interweb. And again, I don't think it's the best look for a college. I don't think it's the best look for people that are trying to do what Charlie Kirk did, or maybe honor Charlie Kirk by engaging the culture and engaging people who disagree with you. I think we have to talk about this. So let me pull the video in first of all. This is called the Fearless Tour Insane. We went to Tennessee State University to host a civil and constructive dialogue about DEI. Their students instead decided to start a riot within 15 minutes of us being there. Be better. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Let me just play it. Let me just play it.
Don't do that. Come on. Yo.
Oh, you better not, boy. You better not.
Okay.
You better not.
Bring the sign back.
That's the gist of it. We'll finish watching it. The rest of it, they're marching them out to their cars. They're throwing stuff at the cars, the whole nine like that. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. This was a bad idea, 1,000% bad idea. Now I don't know if they got permission from the school to be there or not. I'm going to go on a limb and say they probably got permission from the school to set up a table to be there. The problem is, in the world that we're currently in, post Charlie Kirk, you shouldn't do open air table events like that. It just can't happen. I would, if these people, and let me give you a spoiler alert. I've been looking at how this kind of events happen at my own alma mater. Are we open to people of a different ideological viewpoint to come on campus to do exactly what these young men did? So I've been looking into it. And there, shout out to TPUSA. They have several chapters around the Atlanta University Center at Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Kennesaw State, which is near my house here. So there's other campuses that have these tabling events, or they have those TPUSA sponsored chapters there. Of course, there's none at the Atlanta University Center where Morehouse is located. There's no way in the world, if these young men called me, would I tell them to do this as an open air? There's no way. You have to get inside of a building. There needs to be a doorway in and a doorway out. You do not need to be in an open air, because it's only God's grace that it didn't go as south as it probably could have gone. Maybe on like a Market Friday or a hotter day. Looked like it was a little overcast. If it had been a warmer day, let me tell you right now, that would have been a spring day. It would have been a mess. And that is not that you did not wake up for what they could have done. So I would highly recommend, why not invite people from the school to come somewhere else, maybe a common mutual ground? Why not do this tabling event at a bookstore downtown and invite students from Tennessee State to come there? Because only the ones that are really interested in having some kind of a dialogue are going to come. But you go right there into the belly of the beast, which again, kudos to you for trying, but that was a really bad idea. That could have gone south. In a second, you'll see that could have gone real south, real bad, real quick. But why not just invite it? Because I want the dialogue. It's just not going to work. Let me also just say, I'm not trying to be funny. The Make America Great Again hats are going to cause a problem. You already know that's going to stir the pot. You already know that. So maybe, just maybe, you don't roll in it like that. You can still hold on to all of your MAGA principles and ideology. You just don't have to roll in there with the hat. Just saying, because you see what happened. And let me also just add, DIE is trash garbage. It's garbage. But sadly, too many people that look like me have bought into the cope that this is something big, something good that we need to stand up for. And they are willing to lose their lives over it, lose their freedom, lose their scholarships. They're willing to do that. You don't want to do that. Maybe you should not have had a discussion about DIE. Maybe you should have said, like, hey, maybe your discussion could have been black and white people can share ideas that are similar. Maybe that could have been a topic, or something else. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. I don't know. But talking about something, again, that's a flame bait type of topic. And I think they got exactly what they deserve, because that's not the space for that. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of these schools that behave like that. Those students, that was deplorable. But you got to understand, that's what I'm saying. You got to read the room. And that was a bad look. You could have sent an invitation to all of the different organizations amongst the school and said, hey, we're going to have a discussion here at 123 Bookstore. We'd love to have you come over to talk about, and the discussion topic is, can blacks and whites agree about homelessness? Can blacks and whites agree about raising nuclear family? Can blacks and white, it's something like that. And just invite people, because the only people that are going to come are going to be people who really probably are interested in having a discussion. But you're right there in the belly of the beast. You got everybody in ne'er-do-wells there, and you see what happened. Let me finish bringing this in so you can see what I saw.
we're gonna do like a little end live pre-game or post-game situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Hey, you're pretty close. Yeah.
Well, I think the Fearless tour definitely made an impact.
Yeah,
on us.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw
Arrest
something in our
us
car?
right now. They just tried to hit the car. My gosh.
I think Horace is still out there trying to make sure the car's safe.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, officers.
Wow. Hey!
Yeah, they threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top. Yeah, we got this all live. I'm posting this directly after so everyone can see exactly what
Holy shit.
oh my gosh.
Sorry about the language, y'all.
All right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see you later from the Fearless Tour gang.
Are they gonna block me in here now?
I think that might be what they're trying to do. They're intentionally blocking us.
They're blocking us. Here comes the cop. I'm not gonna hit it now, I guess. I'm not gonna hit it now, I guess. We've got more stuff. They're hitting the car.
I thought they wanted us to leave.
They're hitting the car. We're trying to leave, and they're telling us to leave, and they don't want us to leave, I guess. Hey! They are still hitting the car.
That's okay. Bring it
How is this a university?
Look, they're intentionally blocking us. They want us to leave, but they don't want us to leave.
It's like,
I don't know, man. Now that I think about it, I wonder if I can reach out to these people, these young guys. Because I mean, again, I am all for the dialogue. I want there to be dialogue at my own alma mater. I don't think my alma mater is willing and open enough to contrary viewpoints. I don't think we are. And I think that needs to change. That needs to happen. This is just not it, though. It's not it. Oh, my gosh. I want to know, first of all, did they have permission to be there? Could they have used a lecture hall? Because they had technology. They had microphones. They had a table. Of course, those signs. So they had a lot of stuff. So I'm just wondering that they had to have a power source. So they had to have some kind of permission. Finish up.
the
Sorry.
biggest conundrum of all time. They're still hitting the car. This is wild. It's like a zombie apocalypse or something, man. Like they're.
Dude, this is wild. Dude, get that Honda out of the way. All right, so that was it. And man, this is bonkers. And I'm sorry. What's it called? Fearless Tour. They were wrong. That is not. That is not the way it goes. Shout out to the $2 super. I mean, I can't disagree. Martin Gingrich, thank you for the $2 super. The students are acting like animals. They are acting out of pocket. But let's just be 100% honest with you. Should they have honestly expected something different in that regard? And let me also bring up something as well. A lot of people don't know. Historically Black colleges and universities are usually in the hood. They're usually in the ghetto. I mean, Morehouse and Spelman, Clark Atlanta, and Morris Brown are in the hood. Now, they're not the hood now, but when I came there, they were the hood. Okay. And most HBCUs are in lower income areas of town. Let's just be 100% honest with you. So that idea, again, if I ever spoke to those young guys, I would tell them, man, that was not the jam. I understand what you're trying to do, and I support what you're trying to do, but that could have gone south so bad. That could have gone so much worse than it did. Just a few dings on your car and having to get out of there slow. Again, shouted down. What did you actually expect? Did you expect again, that's kind of like going to a Philadelphia Eagles game. I know Philadelphia Eagles fans are rabid fans, right? Like, do you really expect it to be sensible if you roll in there with an opposing a Cowboys jersey? Do you expect something to be no problems? Nobody say anything to you at all? Come on. That's just not a wise idea. Again, I want there to be dialogue. You should not have that on the campus, though. So like, for example, the Atlanta University Center, if the TPUSA chapter at Georgia State, which is like 3 miles away from it, right? Maybe 4. Anyway, if they were having a symposium and they wanted to have a panel discussion about can blacks and whites agree on crime in Atlanta, which is a good topic, by the way. And they just invite students from the Atlanta University Center to come to, the ABC building. We're going to have a symposium at 7:00 to talk about this topic. The people that come are going to more than likely want to talk about it, share ideas, hear what other people are saying. You're probably going to be better off than if you just say, hey, I'm going to go in the belly of the beast. I'm going to go in the middle of the Phillies game and wear my Cowboys jersey. That's probably not going to go well. It's probably not going to go well. But again, I also don't think in the world that we're going in, I don't think we should do open air. It's just too soon. After Charlie Kirk, open air, change my minds. You just can't do it. At the current moment, it's just not realistic. It needs to be in a building. That's just my little 2 cents. I could be wrong, but I can't see. I mean, if we go back and watch this again, let's just watch this from the beginning. And you tell me all the different ways that this could have gone south real early. I mean, it's an open air. Like literally any one of these people right here could have popped off and ran in another direction, thrown a brick at you and ran away. Anybody, any one of them. I mean, that just don't make any sense to me.
Don't do that. Come on. Yo.
You cut it out, boy! You cut it out!
Okay.
See, there's no reason for that. Why not do this in a classroom? Do this in a lecture hall. Do this in a coffee shop. Do this somewhere else. If the school will allow non-students to rent a classroom, a lecture hall, and just do it that way, then that way at least you got one way in, one way out. Because also, when you look at how they left from there, if you could park in the back and you can just go out through the back door and get in your car, you wouldn't have that problem that they had there. To me, it just seems like it would make much more sense. But I mean, this is a security nightmare, in my opinion. And this is post Charlie Kirk. I don't think this should ever happen again, at least till further notice. There's no reason. I want there to be dialogue. I want to make sure I've said that at least 20 times. I want there to be dialogue. There needs to be dialogue. One of the problems that we have is we've now isolated ourselves from each other, that we don't know each other. Kind of like you hear the whole story about society changed when the garage door opener came in. I'm about to sneeze. 1 second. Thank you. Society changed when the garage door opener came. And I admit, I've done it. I see my neighbor across the way. I'll kind of throw my head up, but I'll pull right into my garage, shut the garage, and never say another thing to him. I'll be walking onto my mailbox, and he'll be pulling open his garage door open. There's a lot of disconnect that happens. And it's because we don't know each other. And I'm not saying that the world would be much better if I had to go through if I had to park in the driveway or park and then open up my garage, but it's possible. My point here is dialogue is good. I am all for dialogue. I totally understand what Charlie Kirk wanted to happen, hence why he would even have dialogue with people that he vehemently disagreed with. That he would have those kind of dialogue. That was great. That was extremely beneficial. The problem is, well, for this group right here, the problem is you might want to go somewhere maybe a little bit more friendly. There's a reason why there's no TPUSA chapters in the Atlanta University Center. There's a reason why. And there's a reason why they're at Georgia State, Georgia Tech, and Kennesaw State, respectfully. And there's a reason why. So maybe this was not a good idea. So if they called me and said, Jason, we want to do a fearless tour at Morehouse College, I'm going to say unequivocally, no, that is a bad idea. That's a horrible idea. However, connect with Georgia State, see if you can use a classroom, use a lecture hall, and invite them over. Absolutely. But going on campus, let me tell you right now, you do not want that. That is not what you woke up for. And I would love to see it, though. Let me also say, I would love to see my alma mater being more open to hearing contrary views. I would love for them, because I don't think that they're balanced. I do think they're out of balance, they're out of whack as it relates to engaging with and even appreciating somebody who thinks differently than them. And it's funny because they do in other areas. Some areas they're very open-minded, very open-minded about, sad to say, about religion. They're very open-minded, actually to the point that I believe now they've swung in the other direction, but I digress. But in this area, I think that they're just completely closed-minded. And what these gentlemen did, again, hat tip to them for trying, but that was not a good idea. It just wasn't. And I understand what they're trying to do, but that just wasn't the right thing to do. Because again, it just created far more problems. It did not engage. It didn't foster an environment where they can have that dialogue and that exchange, that mano a mano or group dialogue back and forth. It didn't. All they did was get wild out and cause a mini riot, which is crazy work, by the way. And so let me also talk about the students. I know that they've been indoctrinated. I know that they've been sold a bill of goods that we as a highly melanated people must walk lockstep in this direction. And anybody contrary to that is problematic, whether it be of our own people group or another group. And that's myopic thinking. That's just myopic. There's no way around it. There's no way to make that make sense. And we tend to try to do this groupthink thing where all Black people vote a certain way, all Black people feel a certain way, all Black. No, we don't. And it's just not true. And that being the case, their behavior was totally out of pocket. And there's no excuse for that. And the only way that they're going to come out of that malaise is to actually engage with people who share different views than them. There's no other way around it. You're not going to learn what again, I do also think wearing the hats was a little bit much, but again, you're not going to learn what somebody who shares a different ideological viewpoint of you actually believes and what they think, what they feel. Why do they feel that way? You're just assuming things. So you're not going to learn about them. You're going to stay in your own little echo chamber of confusion and delusion and never actually learn about another person. Because guess what? They might actually be somebody that you could rock with. They might be somebody that's like, well, yo, wait, you care about the same thing? Wait, really? Oh, we can work together. There is no difference between what we want. There is no difference. I always joke about it, say, we all going to pay $3 or whatever we're paying for gas. So we all care about that, you know, and we're tired of paying these summa cum laude gas prices. We want them doggone academic probation gas prices again. Trump, where my gas prices at? So we can talk about that and we can all share, like, you know what? Yeah, we all feel it at the pump. Absolutely. There's no difference between the gas price is the same for Black folk as it is for white people. And we can work through that and we can talk about that. Like, oh, wait, so we both care about that? What about kids? Oh, wait, you care about your kids getting a good education? I care about my kids getting a good education. You'll realize that we have a lot of things in common. So these students here and they're wilding out right there. That's not admirable. That's not something to be proud of. It's something to be disgraced by. It's nothing to be like, oh, yeah. No, all you did was show other people why they should not engage with you. And from there, guess what? They will not do? Engage with you. Now, engage with you might mean they might not want to hire you. Engage might mean they might not want to offer you a job opportunity or look at you. They might look at you a different way when they see you on the road and you have a need. So they didn't do themselves a solid. They didn't do themselves a favor. They literally limited the amount of people that will engage with them and be supportive of them. And by the way, I see some great comments in the chat. Real quick, but it seems a little one-sided. I'm not certain I understand exactly what you mean, Martin Gingrich, but I thank you for the $2. And again, I think both sides are right. Both sides are wrong. Thank you so much, MT, coming in with the $5 super. I see so many people going after Erica, the TP team, saying they sacrificed Charlie Kirk, etc. I'm over both left and right. at this moment. Bad actors get ignored. They sacrifice Charles. I've never heard that one. Now that one is different, but goodness gracious. That's sad to see, man. But people are going to say what they're going to say. And Crystal said this, they wanted problems. To me, I think both sides wanted problems, truth be told. Because sure, what's it called? Fearless Tour, they might have gone there because they know that they weren't going to be well received. The black kids knew that they weren't going to receive these people favorably, but neither of them had to do what they did. Neither. Not a one. Not a one. What if the Fearless Tour met with the faculty and staff and said, hey, we want to have a discussion with the faculty and staff first? And say, hey, can we sit down and have a dialogue? We would love to continue to see and hear how we can fix some of these problems that we perceive in society. And they meet with the faculty and staff. And then would that not have been more beneficial than setting up a table and getting caught in the mosh pit? I think so. Shout out to them for sure. All right, what is Diane saying? It's true. On the right, you have people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, pushing the hate and so on. So any investigation they need to investigate to the right too. I think I got you, Diane. Thank you so much for the comment for sure. Not ignored. Did I miss something? I appreciate it for sure. Thank y'all very much. What's going on, Jolene? Good to see you. Regardless of where, Princess, let me see. Regardless of where they hold it, the actions of the students are abhorrent and should not be tolerated or excused. There's no issue there, no issue at all. But if they held it in a lecture hall, it'd be easier to crowd control. Because really what you have is a problem with crowd control and security. Because again, at any moment, a brick could have been thrown, something else could have happened. It's crowd control. So you can control the crowd better if you got 3 doors coming in and 2 doors going out the back. It's easier to control that. Much easier. You got a stage and people sitting in lecture hall chairs. You got a distance between the people that are sitting up in the chairs and the lecturer down in the little lecture area. There's just a distance. A little bit more safer, a little bit more control. Because really, it's not necessarily, it is a safety issue, but a control people issue. That's really it. Well, Gwen, you're 1,000% correct. I mean, we know at this point the word racist doesn't mean anything. Most of the time, it's projection. I'm projecting onto you what I'm actually doing. We all know that at this point. So the term racist is just like whatever. It doesn't mean anything anymore. I feel like they probably went to the school because they don't want to cave to intimidation. Maybe we are not as free as we think we are. That's fair, Julie Lopez, and I do appreciate the comment. I hear me. I want them to do this. I want them to be able to have that dialogue at the school under certain circumstances, because it's just not at the moment. And I like how you said this. Maybe we are not as free as we think. Guess what? Those students are not as free as they think either. They're mentally and in captive. They're mental captives just as much as anybody else is. So they're just as much in bondage as anybody else could be. So I don't think that is a matter of freedom per se, and like you got free will to go do whatever. No, I agree with that. I just don't think that those people are ready for that. All right, good. Let's see. It's because most Black people are not raising children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. No question about it. We are paying the heavy price right now for horrible parenting and failing education standards. No question. Thank you so much, Turk. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. What happened to the school days era? Just dialogue, no violence. Those days, I don't know. I think we should bring them back. Beauty for ashes. I think it'd be great to have. Morehouse is a perfect place to hold it. If they can't allow to handle civil discourse, the public and Black folks need to see it. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If those gentlemen came to Morehouse tomorrow, Friday, this Friday coming up, Market Friday, I don't have a lot of high hopes. I'm gonna be honest with you. If they went down to the Atlanta University Center and set up a table, did exactly what they did here, I don't think it would go well. I ain't gonna even lie. I would love to believe hope against hope, Prince, but I'm pretty certain they would embarrass me. They would embarrass me. So I want them to, but I don't think it would work like that. If they did it that at Morehouse, it'd probably be worse. Why can't they go freely to supposed universities? Absolutely not the fault of those young men who came to build bridge. I got you, Turk. I got you. I'm willing to. I'm not saying it. I do hope I've said this, and I might need to roll back the tape. I'm not saying that they can't and should not do that. I'm just saying I don't put it in the. You know what? Hold on. Let me stop. Put a pin in that. If you have taught your child to drive, you generally speaking tell your child to drive for everybody around him or her. You're being mindful of everybody. You're doing that. Head is moving. You're looking at the rearview mirror. You check your blind spot. Hands intended to, and you're being extra mindful of everybody around you. So you're technically driving for the people in front of you and beside you and behind you because you don't want to get into an accident. And you're just aware, like, I know I'm doing the right thing. I don't know what you're doing over there, but I'm doing the right thing. And this is a situation here where you are, sure, you're free to go there, but don't be surprised when it goes left because these people don't drive like you. They don't think like you. And therein is the rub. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm not saying that they can't. I just think they need to be more circumspect because we see what happens. It didn't go well. And I think he could, under other circumstances, under other control situations, again, just nothing else but people control. Crowd control is crazy. I think TSU should be ashamed of themselves. Derek, I agree. And that's why I said I hope they don't go to Morehouse because add Morehouse to the shame list too, because I can't see it going differently. At this moment, right now, today, I don't think they're there to accept and engage with somebody that they think, I mean, because sad to say, but they see people who disagree with the Democratic ideology and left ideology as an enemy. I mean, we've heard language like that. What does Eugene say here? Brother Jason, perhaps you, Brandon Tatum, and other like-minded Christians of color can collaboration to focus on reaching the segment of society. I've already reached out to TPUSA, and I want to talk with their chapters that are around the Atlanta University Center. So I'm not just saying what I'm saying. I'm not just talking. I'm hoping that maybe someday soon I can help and be of assistance, be a liaison. This is what we need to do. We're crying out loud, man. We can go do it at the president's house. We can do it in the president's house, and then we got crowd control. That's all. Invite the student body presidents. There we go. We can bring the student governance society in and just have a conversation with them and rap and talk about it and verbally duke it out. See, that's to me, that's how you build that coalition. That's how you get started. But that'd be my little 2 cents. Thank you so much for that. I'm Amish and we are white and we get treated like as well. Sometimes I think some people are just mean by nature. Well, that's true, Martin. It's a sinful thing. We are sinners. So I'm not surprised that we do sinful things because guess what? We're doing exactly what our nature is, our sinful nature. Now, should we be like that? No. Can we be changed by the power of the preaching of the gospel and the work of the Holy Spirit? Absolutely. But that's on God to change these people and work in their hearts, and just like he did in my heart, just like he's done in so many others' hearts. So we have to just be mindful of that. They came to antagonize with those hats. They didn't even have a permit. They just came because they felt entitled to do so. Okay. And if they did, and I said before, if they didn't have permission to be there, that was out of pocket. Now, the only reason I believe that they did have permission to be there is because the campus police are there. Campus police won't allow you to be somewhere and set up something if you don't have permission to be there and set up something. They can't just have people, setting up tables and building tiny houses wherever they want to. You can't do that. So I'm believing, just because I saw the campus police there, because that wasn't Tennessee Police Department. That was the campus TSU police. I think, Crystal, and I could be wrong, and if somebody emails me something different, I'll gladly say it. I think they had permission to be there. In my observation, those students need to practice more logical, critical thinking skills and less emotional mob rule mentality. So that's why you don't invite the whole, because the likelihood of that, having that discussion, like, for example, what if those young men said, hey, we would like to meet with the Young Democrat Society? There you go. At least you got a smaller niche of people, maybe it's 20. And say, hey, we'd like to have a symposium at the 123 lecture hall, whatever. That's at least a little bit more control. Because again, it is by God's grace that thing did not turn into something way worse. I'm going to be honest with you. They didn't have there was not even a schedule. They should have been professional. Okay. If you go back and look at some of these other prove me wrongs, change my minds, Matt Walsh used to do them, I think. Charlie Kirk, of course, did them. They weren't really scheduled. I mean, there wasn't like a necessary a format. They've gotten way more better. But the early days, it was literally a card table, a dude sitting at a table saying, prove me wrong. It was really that simple and that basic. So I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing that. All I'm saying is the way they went about it, they got what they got. Yeah, lots of good conversation going on. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate there's a lot of good conversation back and forth. Absolutely. Wait, what did I say wrong? I wear my MAGA hat wherever I want. This is obviously insane, Jason. Seriously, they shouldn't have worn hats when they're choosing in a sovereign republic. Why should they have to hide? Okay, no problem. I'm just saying we saw what happened, and I'm not saying that they're wrong. I said they didn't have to wear the hats. It would have been a little bit more entreating. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sad to say it. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm just saying we saw what happened. And wearing the MAGA hats did not bode well. Now, of course, we can do like, oh, well, they're wrong. And I've said that the students were wrong. But hey, those guys did not do themselves any solids. That's all. All right, lots of good conversation back and forth. All right, let's see. This is a great point right here. Beauty for Ashton says, fail for the okie doke. I'm so over blacks being baited and falling for it every time. That's my point. Don't give them any bait. Because if you just went there again, if you, what's it called? The Fearless Tour. If they had gone, again, just another route, they could have been, I believe they probably could have had a good conversation. But also realizing that, hey, we are going into very unfriendly territory, extremely unfriendly territory. And maybe, just maybe, wearing the opposing gang colors or what they might see as gang colors could very well not allow us to have a good, fruitful dialogue. I mean, that's all. And again, we're going to fall for the okie doke. We're going to fall for the 1-2. Buckle my shoe all the time. What is Lady Luck Club going on? Hey, Jay Witt. Hey, chat. Want to show some love? What's going on? Hit that like button. How are you, friend? Hey, thank you so much, Jolene, for the very kind. Super. Let me just address these very quickly. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. What is this here? Martin says, maybe there will be a day we all get along. Peace. No, I think it's very possible. I just don't think going to the campus would have been the right thing. And hear me, I went to Morehouse. I probably wouldn't have done that. As an alumni, I probably wouldn't have done it myself. I just don't think that it's right for fruitful conversation, a mob conversation. But let me also tell you this. Hold on. Let me tell you something about Jason. Thank you so much, Martin Gingrich, for that. Thank you. And I'll get those other supers as well. I don't like talking to large groups of people. I don't like doing it. I don't. And if you ever notice, if you ever watch in the comment section, if I ever talk to somebody, and I've done it here, actually on live, I told people, hey, email me and we can have a conversation. Because after a while, I don't like talking with a lot of people talking back and forth. I don't like that as a person. So I'll in public, I'll talk to 2 to 3 people tops. After that, I don't want to talk to them. If it just becomes me versus 4, me versus 5, me versus 10, I'll just give it up. I don't care. I don't want to talk to, I don't like that. Because I do want to have fruitful conversation because it may be something I can learn. And that being the case, I don't like talking to large groups of people like that. So that's why. So back to this point, I would never have done that. I would never, because I can't talk to a whole mob of people. And when this thing starts off, just from the word go, they're talking. I mean, that's is it fair to say 20 people, 30? That's a lot of folk, man. And they're clearly not feeling you. And I'm just wondering, like, how did you even get set up? Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a stand right here with clearly with a speaker system. That's let's go with 15, 20 kids. That's a lot of folk. I'm sorry. I don't know what that just wouldn't work. And again, I don't think that you're going to have fruitful conversation because they didn't have fruitful conversation, in my opinion. What's Brian say here? In 2025, many folks have given themselves to say, no question about it. Thank you for the $3 super, my friend. What's Prince say over here? Prince says this, just on a little bit of collection plate. Blessings and salute. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Prince. Thank you for the $5 super. The collection plate approves. Please address the arch black supremacist Sir Walter Jones. That liberation theology is absolutely out of control. He called me a white nationalist. I'm black. Really? Walter Jones? Sir Walter? Wow. Okay, well, okay, let me come back to it. Okay. Wow. let me, because I'm going to talk about, I was asked to be on a panel someday this weekend. I think it's going to be Saturday, talking about white Christian nationalism and why, first of all, that's a misnomer. And can I talk about it then? Because I don't want to steal from what I want to say then. But I didn't know Sir Walter. Man, can you send me the link? Or if you don't mind, Jolene, can you send me that? Thank you so much for the $10. I hate that Sir Walter did that. But you know what I'll do? In honor of that, I'm going to make you the stream sponsor for that $10 super. Yes, yes. Give me 1 second to catch up. I'm going to make you the stream sponsor. There we go, right there. Uh-huh. But I'm going to call you Turk. I appreciate it. All right. Bang. There we go. And now we got you there. And even though I misspelled chat, you can't spell. It was highlighted too. All right, got it now. Hey, I apologize about that, Jolene. I don't know what Sir Walter. I haven't watched this channel in some time, but I appreciate the support nonetheless. How about that? All right, let's get back to this thing. All right. So what are we gonna talk about today, Jason? I appreciate y'all asking. Thank you so much. All right, what I wanted to talk about. Well, first of all, that is a conclusion of the TSU versus the Fearless Tour. And what I want to talk about, I thought was going to be very beneficial. I've made a lot of hay about Candace being, as I now refer to her as, can conspiracy, right? Can conspiracy. She says that she's always up. She's got a new conspiracy all the time. Well, there were two content creators, shout out to them, that were discussing what she's been teaching and what she's been going on. And boy, oh boy, did they have such a great salient point that I thought was going to be super beneficial for all of us. So I'm going to before I bring it in, there we go. Doing too much. I wanted to tell you that it's David Woods and the Apostate Prophet over here on this YouTube streets. They are a dynamic duo of content, and they've been discussing this topic. And of course, Apostate Prophet is actually a former Muslim who is now a Christian. And of course, David Woods is a Christian. And they've been talking about Islam and its infection in Europe for years, okay? And they also been talking about how Islam has been moving to the United States. And so they've been talking, so of course, you cannot talk about Islam too long without eventually talking about what's going on in Israel, Gaza, fill in the blanks. And so they've been talking about it. And then somehow or another, someone's got on their radar. So that's what we're going to talk about very quickly. So let us bring this in. What's going on, Miss Mandy in the building? Shout out to Miss Mandy. Thank you so much for stopping through on this evening, lady. Is that Verity by Verse? What's this guy talk about? FYI, if you have receipts that prove human trafficking and unaliving conspiracies and you threaten to release them but don't immediately, then you're either complicit or lying. The more you know. Shout out to Keith Bell at Verity by Verse. Sir, you're 1,000% correct. And I just hope that people will start asking Candace more questions like that. And because as Keith just pointed out, like you're saying things like that are pretty serious and you're not releasing the information. Where's the information? Like there should be people in jail based upon the information that conspiracy be talking about, but they're not. So what's going on? Shout out to him. Thank you so much. Prince is this. Is this another one? Shout out again. Bless your heart. That might be the same one. Thank you so much again. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was the same one. But I do appreciate it. Let me say that. So let's do this. David Woods. And if you've been wondering, how do I address some of the conspiracies that Conspiracy has been kicking out there? David Woods and Apostate Prophet they dissected masterfully, and I think is really good. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
Screaming lady? Yeah, I have heard of her. The one who screams about Jews all the time for some reason.
Yeah,
Says something about Jews all the time.
It was really funny because she's flipping out on Jews, flipping out on Jews, flipping out on Jews, flipping out on Jews, flipping out on.
Real quick, I want to make sure green hearts in the chat that you can hear, because I know on my end it's a little bit low. So green hearts in the chat that you can hear, and make sure that we got that good audio for y'all. Well, Sean, I'm glad. Hey, I've always enjoyed their conversations, so this is a good one. Thank you, Beauty for Ashes. All right, so we got some audio. We got audio clearance, Jason. Let's go.
The screaming lady? Yeah, I have heard of her. The one who screams about Jews all the time for some reason.
Yeah,
Says something about Jews all the time.
It was really funny because she's flipping out on Jews, 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 and flipping out on Jews, and then a Messianic Jewish rabbi in Rhode Island. And you just when I mentioned to you who it was, you said you follow him on Twitter, you're familiar with him or something like that?
Yeah, I've heard of him in the past, and I've interacted with him on occasion. He follows me, I follow him, but I don't know much about him. Yeah.
So he told her, and we'll check out the tweets, but he told her, it was actually funny. He said it to her and to Dan Bilzerian. Basically, and we'll read the tweet, but it's basically, be careful, complaining too much about Jews because everyone's going to bow down to a Jew one day. Yeshua, the Messiah, right? And Dan Bilzerian did not take kindly to that, nor did Candace Owens. She called him satanic. And and when it's pointed out to her, Candace, this guy believes in Jesus. He believes in Jesus. She said it's basically a big deception. It's Jews trying to trick and deceive Christians into being more friendly with Jews. So
I want to stop real quick because I've said this before, and I will not stop saying it. Candace Owens has Dunning-Kruger effect on steroids. She talks about things that she doesn't know, and she doesn't have the temerity to say, "Oh, my bad, I didn't know that," or to say, "Hey, I don't know anything about this. Let me be quiet." So she's telling somebody who's a Messianic Jew, which just means that they're a cultural Jew who has accepted Christ and they are Christian, and they're Christian, that they are satanic, and because she doesn't know, because she does not know, she's only met, again, cultural Jews. She didn't know that there's any kind of categories and stuff like that. Should they be called Messianic Jews? Maybe we could have that discussion. But why don't they just call themselves Christian? Okay, we can have that discussion. But we can't say that they are satanic or that there's something else, because they actually are trusting and putting their faith in Christ. So again, this is just another example of conspiracy, just talking out the side of her ear. She has no idea what she's talking about, and putting her foot in her mouth. And there's actually going to be better. Let's go.
this is very apparently all Messianic Jews are just another infiltration of Israel. It's a big deception. It's another conspiracy, according to Candace Owens. Fun stuff.
This is so funny, man. Oh yeah, this happened while I was somewhere else. I didn't really pay attention to it, but it's just one of those instances again where my impression of this, of what you have talked about so far, is.
Let us pause for a second. Her name is no longer Candace. Her name is Conspiracy. So please make sure that when you type it, you type Conspiracy, because that's all she does, is just spew and spouts conspiracies. So she's Conspiracy. So yes, Honey Bun Empress, her name is Conspiracy. And I don't know how to spell it, so feel free. There's no right or wrong way to spell it. The spell check is going to go crazy anyway. So anyway, Conspiracy she is.
Is that she probably had no idea about Messianic Jews, and she encounters one, then makes a blunder, and then instead of admitting, "Oh, well, okay, I was wrong," she then justifies her dumb behavior and doubles down with stupidity and insanity. That's how she does things all the time, which makes me think, I don't know why and how she ever became a famous commentator.
And we're not going to go through the responses because there's too much really, really nasty stuff. But as soon as she's like, "Nope, this is a deception," that's when, "Yes, we will not follow your synagogue of Satan, you Jew trying to deceive us." Talking to a Messianic Jew. These are Jews who defend Jesus as the Messiah, and they're just he's getting blasted over by Candace fans because she said it's actually his satanic deception trying to dupe people into liking Jews. And it's seriously messed up. Like you shouldn't be hating people like this to begin with, but I mean, to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian, that's why I'm against these guys," and say, "Oh yeah, I believe in Jesus too." "No, you don't, stop it, you're a satanic deceiver." Pretty creepy. And then all the nasty comments.
Real quick, shout out Truth Seeker said this. Truth Seeker said that nobody is willing to deal with her issues. I've noticed not heard one critic deal with her arguments. They all just shame her. That's not true. I literally dealt with the argument of saying that there's a trap door and the secret tunnels. I did that yesterday. I've talked about the fallacy of her dying sister theory. If you would like Truth Seeker, I'm making it plain. You're welcome to come on tonight and you can set me straight. Because I believe in dialogue. I believe in dialogue. Got to make sure I do that. So you're welcome to come on and you can set me straight. Because I know good and well, as sure as my name is Jason, I've dealt with her problems. I make fun of her silly conspiracies, but I don't talk about her very badly. Trust me, there's far worse people out there saying far worse stuff. So what about that? Will you be coming on? I will gladly change around the rest of the evening to have you come on, Truth Seeker. All right, let's go. Let us finish this up. Let's go. And Truth Seeker, let me know now, because you are welcome. I'm gonna drop the link for you.
Pretty bad. I will leave it up to everyone else to go check those out on your own, because it's pretty disgusting and terrible and horrible and awful. But let's just recap, in case people haven't been paying attention to Candace Owens' dissent over the past several years. Here's the issue, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you have people, Candace is in this category, Tucker's in this category. I know other people who are in this category who, if they're working as part of a group or they're working for an organization where they're under some sort of authority, then they can kind of keep the crazy in check, and they can control the crazy. And they do that for years, but as they get more and more popular, they think they can let a little more of the crazy out. Eventually, organizations cut ties with them, or groups cut ties with them, and so on. And then they're kind of on their own to do their own thing, because they're popular enough to just go on their own. And then they have nothing holding the crazy back anymore. And they just get worse and worse and worse and more deranged.
That will explain why everybody keeps saying that after she left the Daily Wire, was it the Daily Wire? Wherever she left before she got married, a lot of people pointed out once Candace Owens got married and she transitioned, I don't know if it was from the Daily Wire to the Blaze or Blaze of Day, whatever she was leaving from when she got married and moved to another, that's when she started to really the wheels on the bus started coming off. And of course, once she left from the most recent position, that's when the wheels on the bus came completely off. That makes sense, because think about it. All of this stuff that she's been doing, remember when she was at TPUSA, she wasn't behaving like that. Why? Because she was around people that could hold her accountable. But as she slowly but surely was around fewer and fewer people, and then on her own, it's off to the races. Okay, let's go.
But here we have Candace Owens in a famous little clip. But check this out.
Do you think it's normal, by the way, that basically every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed? like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not normal. Excuse my language, but
do you see how unhinged she just seems? Is it normal that everyone talks about Israel has to say, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me?
I have to say one thing. Let's be very, very freaking serious here.
I want you to pay attention. Please get your notes out. I'm not being funny. Apostate Prophet is going to drop $25 worth of knowledge right here that I had never even thought of. I had never thought about it. The whole argument of the Jews are going to kill me argument. So this goes in the face of whether or not the Jews killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, please pay attention. This is a good rebuttal to that. And I was like, yo, I had never thought about that, because we're only thinking in our silos of the United States. But he is about to take you to the Far East, the Middle East, and see how that plays out. Okay, here it comes.
I have to say one thing. Let's be very, very freaking serious here. David and I, and many others who have spoken against Islam and all that, we are actually in danger of being attacked and having our lives taken, okay? Somebody who speaks against Israel is in no danger at all. No danger at all. You don't have to be, take sides or deny anything or anything. I mean, just look out into the world. Right now, it is the popular thing to do. So many people
Yeah,
out there, whether
everyone's
they are
doing it.
known or or not known, well known or less known, people can talk all kinds of trash about Israel. They can make conspiracy theories. They can invent lies about Israel. They can speak truth about Israel. Whatever it is, nothing happens to anybody. In fact, what's so funny about this, what is so incredibly funny about this, is people accuse Israel, for example, of being this apartheid state and this oppressive, fascist government and all that, right? Israel is full of organizations and people that are inside Israel that are officially registered organizations and well-known people who are anti-Israel, including, but not limited to, Jewish people, Israeli secular people, Muslims, and so on. You have entire organizations whose entire goal it is to everyday bash Israel, and they are in Israel and they are operating freely without any problems at all. You have individuals within Israel that are academics whose focus has been for decades now to be explicitly anti-Zionist and explicitly against the existence of Israel and against Israeli policies altogether. Nothing ever happens to any of these people. They don't fear for their safety at all. They teach at universities, they work in the media, and so on. So for somebody to actually come along and say, "Oh, you have to be careful what you say about Israel. They could come and kill you." You have to be stupid and insane.
Yeah, and it's the same people who also say, why aren't we allowed to talk about Israel when them and all their buddies and millions of other people spend all day, every day talking about Israel and they're not stopped? This is just weird. Yeah, so AP.
Okay, so I just wanted to let Apostate Prophet tease that out. Like, hold on, wait. There are people in Israel, in this country of Israel, that talk mad reckless about Israel inside the country, and they're safe. So you want me to believe that some a white guy in Utah at the University of Utah changing his position about how Israel moves politically, they're going to go ahead and put his head to bed, but they don't put the people again in their own neighborhoods? I'm sorry, sir, ma'am, that don't make any sense.
If Mossad actually wanted to take out people who criticize Israel, how difficult would it be to take out Candace Owens, Suleiman, what's his name? Suleiman what?
Suleiman Ahmed. Yeah.
Suleiman Ahmed, Syrian girl. Who else? That Dr. Lupus something, Dan
Jake
Bilzerian,
Shields. Yeah.
Jake Shields.
I must say, in Israel's defense, in the Mossad's defense, if I was Mossad and if I was Israel, I would not take these people out. In fact, I would make them more famous because, they're doing a fantastic job just lowering the collective IQ of anti-Israel people. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so all these people who are screaming, "Oh, we have to live in a constant state of fear." Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate. We can't even talk about the Jews. They're about to come and get us. And they speak freely all day, every day, and nothing happens to them. Now, guys, keep in mind, if you are plotting the destruction of Israel via various attacks or rockets, then that's a different story. You might want to seriously watch your back. But the people who just run their mouths and yet act like they're in constant danger of getting massacred, my goodness, grow up. But here we have Candace Owens, definitely not unhinged and insane at all.
That is not normal, okay? It's not normal that people have to think about their security because, and by the way, it's not normal that then the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, they shot JFK in an open car, so there's not, he's a sitting president. Obviously my security doesn't really matter if they want me to.
What's the powerful evidence that they shot JFK?
We actually have all the documents released, and there is not a single shred of evidence that it is in any way tied to Israel. There is only one thing where apparently some anonymous source, in an extremely unreliable way, is caught in communications to say something like the Jews gave us money to kill him or something like that. But it's like complete nonsensical. It doesn't lead anywhere. It is just a communication that is. Has no further lead at all, and doesn't get anywhere. It is pretty much very much according to the files released by the government, concluded that that it was a lone guy who possibly acted on behalf of the Soviet Union, but most likely also did not, and so on. So there is literally no ties at all to Israel. On the contrary, Israel is mentioned several times in the documents, only as a partner in the investigations, helping the CIA track evidence and all that.
So you're admitting that they're mentioned. That's enough
Yeah.
for Candace. That's enough for Candace.
That's actually what they did. They actually took sections where Israel is mentioned, like, look, we told you it was Israel. Why is Israel mentioned here?
Mhm.
Israel is mentioned here as a collaborator in your
You see, a
investigation.
collaborator. You see, AP admits Israel collaborated.
So funny.
But by the way, I mean, think about how, and anyone can do this, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be on guard against it. But she can have Andrew Tate, who bragged for years about all the stuff he was doing that meets the requirements for sex trafficking and so on, and interview him, and he's innocent. He's totally innocent. He's totally innocent.
I'm gonna jump in here too, because that conversation comes up when they're discussing what's going on with the Macrons. A lot of people are like, oh, she's going to expose these PDF files and all these terrible bad people that are doing all these horrible things in the dark. I'm like, well, what about the stuff that's on her husband's best friend's phone? Like, her husband's best friend is Andrew Tate. Like, what about him? If you're so concerned about it, start with that dude right there. But you don't do that. And then I've said it before, if you're so concerned about it, the Catholic Church is not without error, but you busy worrying about what's going on in France. You have no connection with it. Why not start closer to home? And what about America First for you, Candace? But she doesn't, and I don't think she really cares. I think she finds something that she can run with, and she feels like she can get away with without getting a lot of pushback, aka the French. I don't think the French are going to sue me. I'm going to talk trash to them. Oh shoot, they are suing me. Like, that's all it is. That's all it is. Okay, let's finish this up, Jason. Let's go. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet.
Tons of witnesses and endless videos of him bragging about it and even teaching an entire course on how to traffic women in this way. And nope, he's totally innocent, but no evidence of any Israeli involvement in the assassination of JFK. But the reasoning is basically JFK was going to tick them off, and so obviously it was the Jews. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting lady.
And by the way, JFK was a Zionist, so he literally attended a Zionist conference.
Oh, there you go.
To give a speech, and also regularly worked with Zionists.
Did JFK agree with all Jews on everything?
No.
Well, there you go, AP. There you go. Means, motive, opportunity. That's enough for a conviction in Candace's brain.
That's not a normal thought process to have. We don't have
Candace
that about
Owens
any other
lecturing us on normal thought processes.
Except for the one that, took over ours. And that's the truth, okay? We are an occupied nation.
We're occupied by Israel.
If it's going to take women like having to speak up and say that to make permission, like to give permission to men to do the same, then I'm happy to be the first person, okay? I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. Like 1000% blame the Zionists. Like let that be my parting word.
Okay, so not Macron or something like that.
Think about what
they're trying to shut you down. What?
Think about what she just said to you. She's basically telling people that they don't have to rely on any evidence at all.
Yeah.
That I will just tell you, this here is the fact. You don't need any evidence at all. Just trust me, bro.
Yep. Book of Trust Me, Bro. That is a good description of Candace Owens and all her powerful, powerful research.
Shout out to David Woods and AP, the apostate prophet. Shout out to them. I thought that was just a good take on it. Again, I had never thought about the fact that there are people in the state, in the country of Israel, please forgive me, who talk trash about Israel way more than anybody over here. And they're perfectly fine. Why in the world am I to believe that they're worried about Charlie Kirk? I'm wondering. All right, but I do want to say this. Thank you so much for these very kind supers. What does it say here? Thank you so much, Jolene Turk. I completely agree, Jay Witt. I speak fluent German and have studied WW1, WW2 history for over 30 years. I taught world history for 20 years. Candace is a libtard disguised as a conservative. And I've said this, and I've been asking people, go back and look at what caused Candace, because Candace started out as a liberal. She started as a liberal. And the reason why she switched parties, switched affiliations from liberal to quote unquote conservative just didn't work with me. Just didn't work. And I'm going to save that. I'm not going to talk about what it was. Most of you probably know. But I'm going to talk about that today. We go over her quote unquote conversion story. Me and my editor we were going to do that tonight. I have it queued up. But my editor and I decided we were going to wait because we found a little bit more, another one of her testimonies. So she's given her testimony a couple times, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But she does also talk about her transition from being a liberal to a conservative. It doesn't work. And so to Jolene's point here, I think she's always been a liberal. She's always been a liberal. I think she happened to find a lane right when conservatism really needed a quote unquote black face. And lo and behold, she jumped right in there and took it. But she's never not been a liberal, in my opinion. Thank you so much for that $10 super. And another one here. Notice Candace never tells you about what the Quran or Hadith say about indiscriminate annihilation of Jews and Christians, including within the Hamas chapter circa 2005 and 2000 charter, please forgive me, 2005, 2017. I never hear talk negatively about Islam. I never do. Not a bit. And that's concerning. Like, you talk real reckless about Christianity. Okay, fine. If you want to say because you're a Christian, you're critiquing your own team. Okay, that's understandable. Then why are you not critiquing, I guess, other teams? Like, why are the Jews always they focus wherever everything that you talk about, all roads lead to Judaism? What about Islam? Thank you so much, Jolene, for that very kind super. I appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all are the best. I really do appreciate that. Okay, what's this? Conspiracy says she likes Jews but not Zionists. Okay, but because I have a lot of people come at me like, are you not concerned about XYZ that goes on in Gaza? Are you not concerned about ABC that's going on in the Middle East? Really? I'm not doing that. I'm not. There's not a second of the day that some tragedy is not going on in the world that you could be all in your feels about, in the corner, weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth for. I just can't do that. And I'm not going to do it. And I don't do it. So my initial concern is, why are we so concerned about what's going on in Gaza, but we don't care about what's happening right here? Wouldn't it make more sense? Wouldn't it be more administratively sound? We ain't even talking about using funds, but just administratively sound to be concerned about the children and homeless people in our own communities above people that are 9 time zones away? Because we're blocking up streets here. We're over here rioting and protesting here, but that doesn't translate over there. Nothing's going to change over there. But if you, and I told this story last year when Joe Biden came to Morehouse College to do commencement. I was totally against it. I thought it was a horrible idea. But the people That was like right when that Free Palestine craziness was really jumping off at college campuses. And they were out protesting in the Atlanta University Center around Morehouse for Free Palestine. And they were legitimately walking over drug addicts and homeless people on Fair Street while they're saying Free Palestine. That was the nastiest work I ever saw in my life. They were having a protest, and if you watch my video, they were having a protest, and the news was there. And they're at the corner of Westview Drive, and I forgot what the name of the street off the top of my head, right where Ray Charles building is. They were having a protest right there. And I took Google Maps, I turned it around, and we just went up the block. And you can see on Google Maps, there are homeless people within eyeshot of these kids standing out here talking about Free Palestine. And there are black men and black women, homeless people right down the street that they're not concerned about. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I tell people all the time, I'm concerned about these two women in my house, the one that's in college right now, the one that's down the street around the corner that gave birth to me. I'm concerned about them. I'm absolutely concerned about them. I am not losing sleep about somebody 9 time zones away. Why are you? I don't understand that for the life of me. That makes no sense. And and this is the thing though, that's why I call it performative. That's why I say it's LARPing, because you will lose sleep. You will block up highways. You'll do all this stuff for somebody and it will not change one thing about them, but you will impede somebody from going to work. You'll impede somebody from being able to tend to their own needs because of why? What is blocking up the street in Atlanta? What's blocking up the street in New York? What's blocking up the street in Detroit or anywhere else for Palestine going to do? I don't understand. Help me. I'm willing to accept that I don't understand. I'm willing to accept it. If you can explain it to me, I'm all about it. Oh, by the way, now Turk, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a link for you, Truth Seeker. I'm gonna drop a link for you, and as long as you have your camera on, as long as you don't use profanity, and as long as you stay on topic, we can talk right now. I'm gonna drop the link for you because you said that Candace. Nobody ever critiques Candace. I'm dropping the link right here. This link is for Truth Seeker only. Yeah, Truth Seeker. We're gonna have this conversation tonight. All you gotta do is press the button. It'll ask to access your camera, access your microphone, and there you go. Now we can clarify this right now. Yeah, they're definitely paid agitators, but it's wild. Like going back to the kids at TSU, don't you realize you're being played? Don't you realize you're being pawned? That you're being baited into behaving a certain way and shutting down communication, shutting down dialogue, shutting down opportunity to have discussion and hear from somebody else and hear a different viewpoint. You're losing that opportunity. Going back to these people protesting outside of the Atlanta University Center, you're not helping these people. You're stepping over a homeless man in order to talk about something going on 9 times on his way. And you're never going to go there because you don't have a passport your own self. You have no camera. Okay. Well, then I'm going to ask you respectfully to steer clear of making accusations that I do not call out Candace and her actual ideology. Steer clear of that because it's not true. And I don't like when people are not able to defend their falsehoods, but yet keep being false. So I'm going to ask you respectfully to stop doing that. If that's okay with you, please type the word yes. All right, lots of good conversation going on in the chat. Thank you, Truth Seeker. I appreciate it. So, yeah. So, and hear me, because I've had people come at me. I've had email conversations. I've had, of course, conversations in the comments. I am not going to lose sleep over something that has zero involvement in my life. I just can't do it. Now, I do pray that there is some form of peace in the Middle East. Okay. But I'm an 80s baby. I remember when that came out, peace in the Middle East. I remember that when that became the slogan. Okay. So I remember we've been praying for a minute, right? So there's going to have to be some heart changes over in the Middle East. Instead of peace in the Middle East, I'm going to pray for heart change in the Middle East. But my point is this. I see these people losing their minds. They out here, free Palestine, this, that, and the third. And their own homes are in disarray. Their own families are in all disheveled and discombobulated. To me, that is an affront to the opportunity that you have to be a blessing, the blessing that you've been given. You're not a good steward. I know that I've been given a wonderful wife. I've been given 2 fantastic children. By God's grace, my mom's birthday is coming up in 2 weeks, and I'm able to celebrate my mom's life still. That's far exceeds any quote unquote good I can do by protesting about Palestine and freeing Gaza and blockades and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. Because before I even get to the airport, there's about 900 events happening between my house and Hartsfield Jackson to get on a plane to go to Palestine. There's just too much going on. And so can you be concerned about that? Absolutely. You should be concerned about people suffering. You should not by any means treat that as a flippant thing. Oh, suffering, whatever. No, you should be concerned. But I for doggone sure am not snubbing my nose at the blessing that I've been given of a wonderful family because I got to get out here and raise Cain because of what's going on in 9 time zones away. That's just silly. And in my opinion, that's missing out on the opportunity that you actually have. So if I'm out here raising Cain about what's going on in Palestine, but my kids are going to hell, I'm out here free Palestine, but my wife and I are at odds. I'm over here, justice for whomever, but I don't talk to my parents and I have access to them. I have a friend of mine whose dad passed away. So let me see. Craig's dad died about 6 years ago. And Mr. Alvin was the business. Craig loved his dad. He loves his dad. And his dad was getting older and things started falling apart. And, slowly but surely he passed away. When I think about the fact that my own dad is still alive, and my dad gets on my nerve. My dad says some stuff, does some stuff that makes me just dead. But I think about Craig doesn't even have his dad. Craig would pay a king's ransom to have his dad back. And I'm over here. My dad is acting ridiculous and I don't want to talk to him. Nope. Hey, we got to get this figured out, Pops. Let's figure it out. Do I need to come up there? We can arm wrestle or whatever. We can fight it out. But then we got to get it together because there are people who wish they had their dads. My mom does stuff that be making me, she done gave me some of these gray hairs on my chin. But I'm going to tell you right now, I know a lot of people who don't have their moms and they ain't had their mom for a long time. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go free Palestine. I'm going to go over there and check on Belinda. That's what I'm going to do. You go free Palestine. You go do what you're doing. I'm going to go take care of my mom. You go do whatever you doing. I'm going to go call my pops. You go over there and you whatever for Gaza. I'm going to go over and take care of my people, the ones that are in my living room. To me, this doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. There's just too many things right here in your own neighborhood. And I know people are getting their feelings about it, and that's perfectly fine. I know you're going to get upset about it because I'm saying I'm not losing sleep. Somebody said they didn't like that I said I should read the email because we had an email exchange. And is this email? There it is. I told the person, I said, I'm not invested in this. And they got really in their feelings. They got really upset that I said I was not invested in Gaza. And I said, I'm not. I don't even know where it is on the stinking map. I don't. And I'm not, no. There's just too many other things for me to be concerned about in my own life, in my own immediate family, to be losing sleep about someplace I'm not going to go. I'm sorry. And don't tell me that I got to be concerned about it because I'm a Christian. Can I not be concerned about the stuff that's right here because I'm a Christian? That's just a silly argument. You just want to talk. What you want to do is you just want to be involved in something that'll keep you from worrying about the stuff that's immediately around you. That's my opinion. You busy worrying about what's going on in your neighbor's yard, and your yard is a desert. That's what the problem is. You busy looking across the street like, oh, Jim needs to fertilize his yard. Sally needs to water that yard. And your grass is dead and is brown and dead and dusty. That's the problem. You don't want to deal with your own dusty yard. Deal with your own dustiness. That's what it is. You out here dusty protesting, looking like Pigpen and Charlie Brown. You don't worry about your own stuff. Now, by no means am I saying you're not concerned about them. You can pray for them. If you have an opportunity, if God gave you the ability to go over there, go on over there and do something. But at the current moment, blocking up people's roads, rioting, protesting does absolutely nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing. It's live action role playing. You ain't doing nothing because you're safe here in the United States doing nothing. But you can take care of your own family. There you go. Let me know. I mean, again, I dropped my email, dearwokec@gmail.com. Email management. I think it's controversial, Danny, because there's a lot of people, and I'm not even being funny. Every time in my comment section, every time, again, I'm really tempted to pull up this email and read this email conversation, but I didn't black out the names. People are not willing, and the person was really salty because I got to find the comment. What was the video that they commented on? But they really are salted about the fact that I said, I'm not concerned about that. I'm not invested in that. And they really lost their mind about how dare you say you're not invested? What do you, and just, are you invested in this, that, and other war crimes and blah, blah, blah. They were losing their mind. And I was like, I'm invested in them right here. I'm invested in my church. I'm a churchman. I have responsibilities to my congregation that I'm sorry, I'm not going to abandon my responsibilities to I'm sorry, church people. I know you needed Deacon Whitaker to be here, but I'm out here protesting Palestine at the moment. I know. I got the keys. I know I have responsibilities. I know there's things that you expect me to do, but I'm out here free Palestine. That's what I'm doing. I'm out here getting jiggy for Gaza. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I know I'm abandoning my family. I know my wife and kids need me, but hey, I'm downstairs rioting. I'm downtown rioting for Palestine. Absolutely. I'm throwing bricks and stuff like that for Palestine. Make that make sense. Go tend to your own yard. Tend to your own yard. The bad thing is if most of us took care of our own yards, we would not be concerned about other people's yards. We would be a blessing to other people's yards. Because, all our yards are kind of connected. So when that guy gets out there and starts leaf blowing, he's blowing those weeds out of my yard into Sally's yard. He's blowing the weeds out of Tom's yard into my yard. So if Tom got rid of the weeds in his yard, guess what? There'd be less weeds in my yard. And same thing in Sally's yard. But see, we're busy worrying about the wrong thing. I'm here to pick fights tonight. Well, thank you, Juju B. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate it. All right. I feel like I might miss something. If I did miss something, please don't charge it to my head, not to my heart. I see there's a lot of family reunion conversation going on, so I might not have missed anything. Might not be toward me. All right. Tennessee State University for Palestine. And they do. You know it. That's a perfect example. They're doing the wrong thing. You know it. I promise you. I almost want to look it up. Is it a TSU for Palestine? You know it is. All right. You know what? Let's talk about this because I watched the video today about Charlie and his family going to mass. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't know if y'all know about this. I don't know if y'all know this. Jay Witt used to be a school teacher. Y'all know that, right? Do y'all know that Jay Witt used to teach at a private Christian school that taught Latin? Do y'all know that? I am not a good Latin teacher. I was not. I'm glad when I taught second grade, that was the first year they had to learn Latin, and it was bad. It was bad all around. We was all down bad, right? However, one of the things they had to learn is like various scriptures in Latin because a lot of um, reformed theology. A lot of times, especially if you're looking at some of the older texts, sometimes they put it in Latin, the Latin Vulgate, right? And so the reason I bring that up is because Latin sounds cool. It does sound kind of cool. If you don't know what you're talking, if you don't know what they're saying, it still sounds kind of cool. It just sounds dope. I'm willing to say that, you know what, Charlie Kirk might have just said, hey, I like hearing church and man. I'm pretty sure he understood Latin way better than your boy did. So, okay, fine. He went to Latin mass. All right. Have you never gone to a church with a friend or a friend asked you to come? Have you never gone to a church? I try not to do it, but I've done it several times. If they ask me, depending on our relationship, if you ask me to come to church with you, I'm gonna probably come. I try not to. I try to talk my way out of it. I say, hey, we can meet you for lunch, blah, blah, blah. But they really are strong about it. I had all of my Morehouse brothers, all my roommates came when I was ordained a deacon. All of them came. Every last one of them. There was 9 of them came. And I'm like, dog, all of them showed up. Not a one missed out. Now, some dipped out as soon as they got done. Some stayed around. We went to lunch. But again, I feel like maybe he was just going because, you know what? They liked hearing it and they want to show. Because again, one of the things about Charlie Kirk that I'm learning is Charlie Kirk really wanted to have that dialogue, that back and forth. And he would do a lot in order to meet you so that you can have that dialogue. Hence why he was still friends with Tucker Carlson. And hence why Tucker Carlson was on the dais on Sunday, because he really wants to keep trying to build bridges when most of us would have said, get out of here. He was going to always keep trying. And so my point, until he probably saw that you were too far gone. So maybe that's why he was. But I'm not saying somebody convert. Please don't say, if you see me at a non-denominational church, that I'm giving up Presbyterianism. Please do not be confused. That's not it. So I'm just not willing to burn him down because, okay, fine. He went to Catholic mass. Okay. And I can't do that. You know, this is gonna be a hot take. Y'all gonna clip this. I think Conspiracy was lying. That's it. I just think she was lying. Because again, like, she's the fountainhead of all truth in this situation. Everything from the $150 million being offered by BB to the interrogation to this right here, praying the rosary. All of this stuff is something that she has told us. Nobody else confirmed it. Nobody else corroborated it. And scripture teaches us to don't trust just one person. You need to have a secondary or tertiary witness. But she's the only one that knows this. No father, this and that. Nobody else is able to confirm what she's talking about. But we run with it and say that he was converting to Catholicism. He was about to start praying to Mary. And nobody else is confirming it. We don't need to do that. The onus is on Candace to prove it, not on us to believe it. All right, lots of good conversation going on. Who is E. Michael Jones? I don't know who E. Michael Jones is. Who's E. Michael Jones? Hold on one second. So this is the this is the one where she talks about Protestantism and its fractured. That's actually part of my next video I'm gonna be doing. So I'm gonna save that one. I didn't know that I thought this was like a podcast or something. Yeah, that's not the slam dunk that y'all want it to be. Not gonna be your friend about that, but yeah, that's not the slam dunk that you think it is. But I actually have that one queued up for our discussion. I mean, she did say that though. Again, like just Candace just be saying stuff. Can't Conspiracy just be talking. I joke with my friends all the time. Like, you come on, I have a friend of mine that goes to what I call a happy slappy church. And I'm like, man, get up out of that Six Flags over Jesus, man. Get your kids somewhere where they can learn something. So I say it all the time. And we're still friends. And we talk trash about each other. Like but on the same note, I rarely would tell somebody what I said about my friends. I wouldn't say, you're too smart to be. I wouldn't let y'all know I said that. I just don't. Again, that's between us. But I don't know why Candace said that. But that's why I said I don't believe her. Kathleen Kelly said, "Where can I send you an email?" Well, here it is. You're gonna put that email at dearwokec@thegmail.com. Wherever it is. Sorry, there it is. You can email your boy right there. And that video, Kathleen, is going live. I already have it done. I already replied to the Alex Clark interview and what they said. And so that video is probably going live tomorrow at like 3:00 tomorrow afternoon. Lots of good conversation. Let's see, a lot of family reunion going on. What's going on, realtor underscore? You're pointing your friend to a Bible believing church, not Catholicism, which I've noticed Candace turned into a gang. See, there you go. There you go. I'm with you right there. I just want the people that come into my comment section. They tell me I'm being mean to Candace, or you haven't watched the series, or you are this, or you're paid for. Why don't they ask the same things of Candace? Like, you assume the best of Candace. If you assume that I'm being paid by somebody to do a video, why are you not assuming that Candace is being paid by somebody to do a video? Does that not does that not cut both ways? And who would it be more advantageous to? I have a video that has 20,000 views. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. All right. I didn't die, y'all. I promise you. All right. I got a video that has 20,000 views. Candace has a video that has 20 million views. Who would be more prone to do something for money? Me or Candace? That's all. I have 49,000 subscribers, by the way. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help me hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers. Candace has like 4.5 million subscribers. Who's got more to lose if they don't do a good video? If it doesn't get well received? Who is it? Old retired teacher man or somebody like Candace? Why are y'all not asking her those questions? That's all I keep asking. Like, why are you over here saying, assuming that I'm getting paid? Why is she not getting paid? Candace doesn't answer my criticisms of her. Well, I totally agree with that. The problem is why her audience doesn't ask her these questions. I think by you asking that question, the audience will see. Like, yeah, why is that? Why is that? Why is it that you keep accusing people of getting paid, but ma'am, are you not getting paid? Like, like for real? Like, I mean, we could start the same rumors. How do we know that you're a woman? Like, we could do the exact same game that she plays on everybody else. How do we know that you're a woman? We haven't seen any proof that you ever were pregnant. How do we know that wasn't a prosthetic baby bump? We didn't see the doctor cut the umbilical cord. We didn't see it. How do we know? Like, we could play this exact same insane game with her. But I mean, and they lack critical thinking. Like, thank you so much, Honey Bun Empress. Like, why are y'all not asking that question? And you point your finger at me. But I'm here for it. I love it. Hey, you know what? Let's do something fun. Let's do something fun. I haven't talked about this guy in a long time. All right. I don't watch late night television. Truth be told, I don't really watch TV. I'm not a big TV watcher. I hate it because I actually don't even know how my TV works anymore because they've upgraded it and I don't have a clue how it works like it used to. But I digress. This whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, I thought it was just the natural attrition. If your company doesn't see you doing well, they cut you. I thought that was pretty basic. I didn't know it was a big deal. I didn't know it had to be all these other layers. Well, come to find out, the FCC chair added a little bit of complexity, making a comment about it, so on and so forth. So then it became like this big conspiracy. But I heard a little bit about it, and I really heard about it from the body language expert. So the body language expert did a review of Jimmy Kimmel and his apology. And I thought it was really informative. I learned something. So if y'all don't mind, let's bring him in if that's cool with y'all. If y'all could, green hearts in the chat. If y'all want, we can do body language expert. I thought he was if you have not already seen it, some of y'all might have already seen it because I'm sure you all have subscribed to him because he's definitely an OG for sure. But green hearts in the chat if y'all want to. We'll watch and hear what he had to say about Jimmy Kimmel. Green hearts in the chat. My 22-year-old son has been distraught over what happened to Charlie. We are talking about him the morning he was assassinated. Wow. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, Charlie was he was a force to be reckoned with for sure. I mean, when you look at that stadium Sunday, like, yo, this guy made an impact for sure. So hats off to your son. Preferably he is moving on and able to do some great things. All right, so let's bring in the body language expert. And his name is Jesus Enrique Rojas. I guess I need to do this. There we go. Shout out for sure. Make sure you green hearts in the chat when you can hear. And if you have not already done so, make sure you hit that like button. All right, let's get it going. Let's go.
By this point, you might already know that Jimmy Kimmel is back with his show. Has been more than 22 years. I understand. I didn't know it was that long, but well, it so happens that he's back. So there's no dictatorship in the United States, I guess. But he came with an apology for what he said about, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And well, let's see if this passes this smell test. And I can imagine that you already made your mind about this. You still don't like Jimmy Kimmel, but it's always useful to go through the steps to see the tips and tricks and sneaky ways manipulated personalities can try to use or guilt trip you into, oh, they are really sorry for what they did. So let's see what's going on here. There's this huge introduction about how he's coming back. He's grateful for coming back, and then it comes the apology part. That is this one. It starts
I have no
this way.
illusions about changing anyone's mind, but I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Okay, so it was impressive. I have to say it was impressive that it was almost on cue that when he was going to start the apology, that's exactly when he broke. Not like a few seconds before, not a few seconds after. It was right on cue. It's like he had that on the teleprompter. I mean, I can maybe give him a pass because, well, he knew that he was about to talk about the topic, but at the same time, you know, that was the topic that started it all. And I want to talk about, well, what happened with the FCC and Jimmy Kimmel at the same time, because that is important. What the current state of affairs in the United States and the tension and the temperature, and how, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel did not help with this word. So he was trying to be sorry.
And that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't.
So crowd applauding. His voice breaks. His eyes are water. Maybe he is sorry. He has actually sorry. It looks like it, but let's continue watching.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do.
Well, to be fair, I went to his Instagram, and yes, the post is already there. It's still there. It was not just a story that just disappeared. No, this was something that he posted, and it's still, you can still see on his Instagram. Instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence. And, well, yes, nobody could know on September 10, the very day that Charlie was shot, who was responsible for this. And nobody had any idea. We have to be fair with this. But then we continue, and, well, it begins to get kind of worse from this point onwards.
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Hey, wait a second. This is what I have some trouble with. Nor what is my intention to blame any specific group for the action of what was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. Jimmy, I have your words. Have your own words. I'm gonna play this. This is in black and white. You know, we are reminiscing. We are remembering what really happened and what got Jimmy canceled.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Yeah, MAGA is trying to characterize this kid as anything other than one of their own camp. I think it's pretty much on point. Like he was saying, claiming that MAGA was trying to score points over this. And what did he say with his apology?
Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Was 100% your intention, Jimmy. Just said that yourself, please. If I hate something more than people being snake, is to not standing by their words. I mean, you should at least, if you're going to apologize, an actual apology, is that you have to acknowledge what you did. And Jimmy Kimmel did not do even the bare minimum, saying that, yes, I was wrong. I made a mistake. I said this. No, he's trying to make you think that he didn't say what he said, which is, for me, the lowest of the lowest scum. I know it was my intention, but he says the MAGA gang desperately trying to paint the shooter of anything other than one of them. This is very clear. You said that, and you're not acknowledging it. We already, you notice it. You notice it. This is important when you are having conversations in your daily life and you are with a manipulator, somebody who wants to guilt trip you or make some kind of apology, and you, hey, this is not passing the smell test. And now you know that, yeah, they need to acknowledge what they did. They have to be clear of what they did. They have to be clear of how that affected you. And yes, acknowledge that they did it and they were wrong, because otherwise there's no apology. There's just empty words of some tears and all this sort. This is again textbook manipulation. But let's let's see if he can salvage some of his, apology in the next clips.
That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But
I don't know what is the opposite of the point that we are trying to make. That sentence doesn't make sense. As in, you said that it was MAGA, the shooter was MAGA, and that was the opposite of the point that you were trying to make. I don't know what was the point that you were trying to make.
I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear.
Notice this is usually manipulators speak. Some of you felt, you felt that my words were harsh. You felt that it was ill-timed. You felt that it was unclear. It was you. The blame is on you who misinterpreted my words. You felt like this. It's so bad. It's so, again, this is manipulation. This is just plain manipulation. That they're putting the blame on you. No. I know what I said, and people just got it completely wrong. But we have the receipts. No, this is just another snake. But wait, there's more.
And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I have felt the same way. I like the way that he, in this sentence, I am not gonna.
Okay, let's see if we can. Let's see if we can be good students. Do you know what it is that's going to stand out in this sentence? If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. Can you tell me what it is that Jesus is going to call out? Put it in the chat if you know what it is that he's going to call, if you haven't already watched it. All right. What is he going to call out? There's something about this sentence that makes it not as truthful as it could be. And again, the sentence is, if the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. What is the problem? What is the problem? What is the problem phrase in here that Jesus is going to call out? Well, that's true too. I think he's fake as well, Joey, for sure. Anybody see what the problem is with that sentence? I am waiting. I know y'all typing it in. I'm gonna start typing it. I knew it. When he said it, I knew it. All right. And it's the phrase, there's a good chance. Uh-oh. That's the phrase. That's the problem. It's the phrase, there's a good chance. Listen to what Jesus has to say about that. Let's go.
Say that he's lying. Maybe he's telling the truth. I'm going to give him an opportunity to say the truth. But notice how he structures this sentence. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. Don't you notice that is something like, it's extra here that could be removed? I mean, if somebody was being truthful or sincere, they would say, if the situation was reversed, I'd have felt the same way. When he gets there's a good chance, all right. So at the same time, there's some chance that no, I won't have felt the same way. You understand, right? If somebody is sincere, okay, if the situation was reversed, I have felt the same way, right? No, he had to put in there some sneaky words to it's like water down. There's a statement. Again, that's manipulative speak. They are vague. It is you who felt that my words were wrong. I know I didn't say that when they actually said that, when we have receipts of what they say. What else can I say? But
I also want to point out by him saying there's a good chance I would feel the same way, it's still putting the onus that there's a good chance, but it's not a guarantee. So there's a possibility that the problem is still, especially considering the fact that he just a moment ago in the previous sentence said some of you all felt a certain kind of way. So he's blaming your feelings. And then he says, well, hey, if the situation were reversed, I could have the same feelings as y'all, even though those feelings are wrong, or I could have different feelings. So he is, I mean, as somebody just said, as Jesus has said here, this is master manipulation. This is reverse psychology. Absolutely. And again, you are the problem, not me. Somebody else said here, it's your fault. I'm sorry. So it's our fault. Yes, it's our fault.
We have way more examples of this that you can learn for your daily life. And here,
the other side, who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone.
Notice this is a Bill Mayerism. I'm going to use that word from now on. This is a Bill Mayerism. What is a Bill Mayerism? It's very easy. It's very simple when you think about it. A Bill Mayerism, of course, done by Bill Mayer all the time, is that this, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. As in, no, this is completely gray. We don't know where he came from. No, not in the fact that there is literal proof that he was radicalized by a trans furry terrorist cell. And you know which party, let's say, promotes that kind of depravity. So it's, again, a way of, oh yeah, no, it's, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. I think we should calm down. We should come down. We should unite. This is one person. This shooter. He's trying to put the shooter, since he cannot tell the truth. And this is the problem with these people. The problem with the left is that they know the moment they try to tell the truth on anything, they are just putting, the blame on themselves. So since he cannot tell the truth of where this guy, the shooter, comes from, he has to say that, oh, no, we are all united, right and left, conservatives, liberals. This shooter, has nothing to do with any of us, right? Right? Again, a way of trying to backtrack on his words, a way to try to pull the blame off himself. Very sneaky, right?
This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't.
Empty words to reinforce the previous statement.
This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
So he begins to talk about free speech, which is important, which in some sense, it was the FCC chair. I mean, what happened? I checked the timeline. It was he made that, that's not even a joke. That was an actual statement that MAGA, he was literally saying that the shooter was MAGA, right? He said that. So Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, went on Breitbart and he, said that it's like a poorly veiled threat. He said a poorly veiled threat that ABC had to do something about this. And I think that was the problem. I think that was a mistake. I think that was an unforced error by somebody who was appointed by Trump. Because I think that people had the right to say this kind of stuff and, have an actual backlash and feedback of the people and leave it to the private company to say if, they're going to continue with Jimmy Kimmel or not. Mm-hmm. What Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, did was an unforced error. You know what they say? When your enemy or your opponent is making a mistake, do not interrupt them. That was a stupid move. I have to say it. I mean, one has to. I have told you many times that we need to let these people talk because more and more people will realize the nonsense. In fact, that is the spirit of what Charlie Kirk did. He let people talk. He invited people to talk very publicly. So more and more people realize that, all right, what the left is saying makes no sense. It is depraved. It is against common sense. It's not right. So, well, we're going to continue just because he included a lot more manipulation in this. So this video is going to be a bit longerish than usual, but believe me, this is worth it, so you can learn how to spot this kind of manipulation.
And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air.
So he begins to talk about Colbert and how the government is coercing all this, and this is un-American, this is so dangerous. Again, if Brandon Carr hadn't said those words, this wouldn't have happened. There would have been a backlash, and maybe that public backlash would have forced Jimmy Kimmel off the air, although who really cares at this point? I think Jimmy Kimmel himself said that. Some people like him, some people don't like him, and that's not going to change, regardless of what the body language guy says, regardless of what Jimmy Kimmel says. I think we can agree on that. Okay, that's simply a fact. So it's like giving him ammunition. Brandon Carr actually gave Jimmy Kimmel ammunition to criticize the Trump administration. That's what I tell you. That was an unforced error. Don't interrupt your opponent when they're making a mistake. But there's other things, and because he gets to mention and take the mantle of Erica Kirk.
I want you to think about this. Should the government be allowed to raise?
Okay, he keeps talking about free speech. Why does the government regulate podcasts, whatever? Again, the ammunition of the unforced error. And then he says this.
You think that sounds crazy? No! 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC.
Okay, he says about Brendan Carr, what happened. But there's one clip that I want to, it's very important.
Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Okay, wait a second. This is Trump celebrating people losing their jobs because he can't take a joke. Again, I'm not going to replay the black and white section. You already saw it twice. That was not a joke. That was a statement because, well, that was not funny at all. A joke is supposed to be funny. And Jimmy Kimmel gives statements and he jokes as well. As he, in this very monologue, he has a combination of both. So that was not a joke. So he is trying to mislead again you into thinking that, oh, I was canceled because Trump couldn't take a joke, which is false. Okay, so that's on Jimmy Kimmel.
We do agree on a lot of things. We agree on keeping our children safe from guns, on reproductive rights for women.
I wanted to include this clip of, we agree that we want our children safe from gun violence, where reproductive rights for women, you know, abortion. That is left speak for abortion. But then here comes this.
I don't know if you saw this on Sunday. Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow.
And his voice breaks again. He's trying to borrow Erica Kirk's, it's something that I cannot describe. I don't have the words to describe what Erica Kirk did on Sunday. I'm going to make a video about her, by the way, about that moment. It was so touching. And, well, let me borrow some of that. Oh, we should be more like Erica Kirk. We should be more like that. That is borrowing cloud. And this is my favorite part.
If you believe in the teachings of Jesus as I do,
he says that he believes in the teachings of Jesus, but he just said, like less than 1 minute ago, that he's up for abortion. How does that work? I mean, I don't know how that doesn't work. I don't understand. I want somebody to explain that to me. Again, these people contradict themselves in the same monologue. And there's something that we cannot avoid. There will be people who just love Jimmy Kimmel, and that is not going to change. But it is important to not make unforced errors when they are saying whatever they want to say. That's why I said Kamala Harris should be able to say whatever she wants. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, so people can decide for themselves. And if you're crazy and you think that these people are brilliant and funny and are the real heroes of the United States, nobody can do anything for you.
There it was. That's it. A selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply.
What more manipulation do you want from this? I mean, and I condense these little snippets of this monologue, and you see all the ways he was trying to manipulate the public. It was baffling. I had to share this video with you. I had to make this video. And maybe again, you might not like Jimmy Kimmel. I know that he was lying, but it's so important to understand all the ways and deconstruct the ways that he was lying or misleading or misrepresenting or trying to borrow clout from other people, so you can spot that in your daily life. That's my real mission as the body language guy.
And if there's anything we should take from this tragedy to carry forward, I hope it can be that, not this. So thank you for listening.
Okay, and thank you for we're coming back, blah, blah, blah. So again, this is the perfect example how, well, number one, we need to be careful with how we react. I have to say, I'm not perfect. And sometimes I can react in ways that can be way too, say, spontaneous. And yes, I had to retract myself. And sometimes I'd say that I was wrong. I made mistakes. Something that can happen. But when you have responsibilities at that level, like the FCC chair, you have to be careful what you say, because again, it's like giving your opponents free ammunition to attack you, and you don't want that. So most of the time, it's usually a better idea to just, be a bit quiet about that. Maybe that will be the best strategy, and let them just, think themselves. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love.
Guy. Hold on one second. Grace and peace, everybody. Mike, you muted. Shout out to Mike. What's going on, man? How are you?
What's up? Let me get rid of this bottom part right here because I don't want to
Why
get
you all looking all chill?
Oh, that's how I am. How do I
That's how you
change my name? How do I change my name? Oh,
there you go. What's going on, man? What's happening?
Let me get rid of that bottom one. Bring her channel strikes. What up? What we talking about, bro? What's
all right? So we were just talking about Jimmy Kimmel on his apology about.
Hold on, let me go get my salt. Let me go get my salt and pepper. I feel like we finna cook. Hold on. Okay, we're never mind. Let's go.
We're about to cook.
Who you talking about?
We talk about Jimmy Kimmel. We were just talking about Jimmy Kimmel. We've been talking about Candace Owens, Conspiracy. I started out talking about these guys that were following after Charlie Kirk, doing the open table discussions, and they went to TSU and they had a little mini riot. I mentioned earlier that I thought it was a bad idea to do that, and I think they need to handle that a little bit differently. However, I found I said some things were wrong about the gentleman that came to the school. I said that things were wrong with the way the kids responded, and I actually found evidence to that fact. So let me. Have you seen this? Did you see what happened over there at TSU?
I didn't see the brawl. I saw the copycats trying to do. No, I'm gonna say copycats. I see the people trying to pick up mantle and keep it going. I did not see the brawl.
For sure. So Tennessee State removes questionable group from campus after unauthorized visit. So I believe somebody said in my chat that they thought the group was not authorized to be there. So they were correct. I was wrong. I thought that they might, because they had set up a table. Needless to say, that is correct. They were not authorized to be there. Here's what the table looked like before it got removed. DIE should be illegal and deport all illegals now. Let's talk. All right, that's it. I don't know if you were there. I was saying that, hey, I think that this is having the discussions are good. I don't think that this should be the first one out the gate, because again, HBCUs are just a different animal. Maybe having a discussion about how we can have, can whites and blacks discuss poverty? Can whites and blacks discuss homelessness, whatever? Because remember, most HBCUs are in the hood. So I would think that would be a good way to start a good conversation. But I think starting off with these are on hot button topics. I don't think it went well, and it didn't go well. But what you got anything you want to add on that, Mike? Mike is frozen because he's in Arizona and it's hot out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all right. So the one thing that I'll try to be good today. The one thing that is very, very difficult to experience in this conversation is the level of maturity and truth that you have to deal with to have the conversation. Going specifically to an HBCU is taking what I would say filet mignon to somebody who's used to only consuming Happy Meals from McDonald's. It's a very, very tough conversation to have. If you have followed the news over the last, let's just say 11 days, let's go 9 days after Mr. Kirk he died on the 10th. So excuse me, he perished on the 10th. So let's say the last 12 days, right? And you've watched all of your Joy Reids, you've watched your Howard Jones Wesleys, you've watched your Jamal Bryants, you've even watched your Auburn preachers who've covered this, you've watched your Native Land podcast, you've watched your Abby Phillips, you watch the people that have had this, you watch your AOCs, your Ilhan Omars, you watch all these people have these conversations about this subject and they're ill-equipped to have it. So you're going to take a DEI should be legal, that most people still don't understand what DEI actually is and how it harms the community. And then you're going to deport all illegals right now, because believe it or not, most African Americans do not understand that their very core of who they are is conservative. That's not saying they're Republican, that's saying that they're conservative. So by taking these conversations out, one, without security, two, they're clearly on their own because the way their signs are made, they have their own cameras, and then they're wearing the red hats, which is just, going to be a dog whistle for you to get some smoke. I don't think that this was the right way this is not the right audience. They probably would have started better at a more diverse university. They probably should have started in a place where there was less going to be what I would consider less physical violence. We are melanin and known to fight before we actually get context. We will try to find out what we are doing after. No, I was going to say we try to find out what we're doing to fight instead of finding out what we're fighting about. And I know that sounds like the same thing, but it's kind of it's right. Hey, I got to swing first, right? Then we got to fight, and then all of a sudden we have to find out. But you're trying to educate, and I hate to say this, you're trying to educate some people who are already uneducated, especially in this context of what the conversations are like. So many people have assumed improper information, and I didn't see the full context. I just see the clips on TikTok and different things like that. But I really don't think that I really don't think that no matter what you're going to show me, you're not going to watch this. I'm going to try to guess what the clip is. The clip is going to be one person presenting a side. The other person has already decided before the side is heard that they disagree with the side, and they're going to try to argue against that side, even though that person is continuing to educate them on what actually the facts are. And I think that's how almost all of these clips go, even from Charlie Clips. Charlie Kirk's clips is that they tend to come to the microphone or the discussion with their minds made up based on the signage. DEI should be illegal. Well, you want DEI, so you're already coming to us as the B side. Deport all illegals. One, you don't like the word deport. And it's pretty similar to defund. So you don't like deport, but you love defund. I don't get it. And then illegal, you don't think anybody could be illegal, even though we don't understand, right? We as a society believe in the concept of illegal immigration. Do you want me to tell you how? I'm not going to take your show over, but do you want me to explain to you how? I'll explain to you how. Because if you go to church, members have privileges. Yes or no?
That is correct.
If you go to a gym and you join a gym, members have privileges. And guess who doesn't have the same privileges as you? The people carrying the guest pass. If you got a guest pass, you can only do so much until you join the member, and then you get full benefits, right? If you go to the movies, you can't go into the movies unless they give you a movie pass, unless you have the right access. So we believe in the concept. We understand the concept of what we're talking about. We just don't agree with it because now we're dealing with human beings. And even though if you think about human beings, we have memberships in clubs all the time. So taking this discussion to the idea of a university that's already most likely left leaning, most likely nobody had a conversation about the HBCU funding that went through the day after Charlie Clerk had
was assassinated,
passed away. Yeah, nobody talks about that. Nobody. I mean, I don't like the way they did it. They took funding away from the Hispanic church, Hispanic schools to fund it. I don't like that, but they did it. Jubilee, did I hear everyone agrees with illegal immigration? What I mean by it's the concept of, and let me say it better because I know somebody's going to soundbite that and try to get you canceled. We agree. We understand the difference between legal and illegal immigration because it comes down to being a citizen or declared citizen of the country and person who is undocumented. We understand that. And I gave you my examples. Gym membership. If you walk into the gym and you pay the fee and you join your documented member because they give you a little card and a barcode. If you're not, you're undocumented. You could still come and work out. You actually can still participate in almost everything that the documented member has, but there are some things that you have access to. So that's what I meant. I meant that we understand what the concept is between legal immigration, illegal immigration, because we do it everywhere else. And even if you're not religious, you understand the idea of membership versus non-membership. So that's what I meant.
No question.
Yes. Sorry, that was a long rant. That was a long rant. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so I want to talk about this because I mentioned this earlier. I said that these young men, I thought that they probably had permission from the school. They did not have permission from the school. So there is the first of many problems. And I'll just kind of go down the list from this in this post Charlie Kirk world. This open forum like this can't happen. This is just not it. Because on the other side of the table is about 20 people. All kinds of shenanigans can pop off. So this open forum situation not gonna work. They should have reached out to the school, gone through the proper channels to secure a lecture hall, to secure a classroom to have a discussion. 2 doors in, 2 doors out, because there's a crowd control problem. That's clear. There's a crowd control problem. But now that I know that they didn't have permission to be there, that's going to be problematic. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Let me ask you a question. I understand what you're saying. In theory and in discussion, I do agree with you. We can't have this open discussion without the proper things involved. Here's what I think this is happening, though, and this is my opinion. If you lean right, and I'm not saying you're far right. If you lean right, the continuation of these open discussions are good. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's going to continue to weed out exactly how far left the left has gone. Here's my point.
Go ahead.
Name 2 or 3, maybe name one person we know that goes to universities and has open conversations. Left-leaning. Anyone.
There's not one.
In the last 4 years, name anyone left-leaning who will go and do what the right is doing. So I think in a controlled environment, I think it continues to need to happen so they can continue to demonstrate the character that they say they have. They're continuing. Jimmy Kimmel, CNN, all these people are demonstrating, because look at, I think the number is up to 1,100 people nationwide have gotten fired over their thoughts. But I want to see the numbers of the videos that we see now coming out on social media of people who are leaving the left because they're watching the behavior of the crowd that they say they belong to, and the things that they say they stand up for, and they're like, wait a minute, look, I was cool when we hated Trump. I was cool. I was cool when maybe we were, we had our thoughts about gender. I was cool when we were trans bathroom stuff like that. I was cool with that. Wait a minute, y'all starting to hate murder? Like you're starting to condone murder and condone violence, and we're actually attacking people. Destiny's talking about making fun of Erica Kirk and going on Pierce Morgan and saying some of the wildest stuff, and Hassan, and now they're starting to get deplatformed, and all the stuff that you were for, cancel culture, is happening to you, and now you're against it. People are waking up. Not saying they're becoming conservatives, but they're like, hey, I don't want to be left. Whatever the word is for middle, make me that.
Let me explain. I want this to happen. I want them to be able to set up a table at Morehouse. I want them to be able to. They are not going to be able to do this like this. It's just not going to happen. There's TPUSA chapters at Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State, and all the schools around the Atlanta University Center. They won't be able to do this in the Atlanta University Center, which in my opinion is one of the prime places to have these types of discussions. So my suggestion, go ahead.
No, that was my point. It needs to happen in the places where it's not supposed to happen, and it just needs to happen differently. I like your idea of booking a hall, going into an auditorium, and letting anybody come up to the mic, kind of like what Ben Shapiro does. You can go in and have that's what I'm saying. But the conversations cannot stop on these left.
No, yeah, definitely. I want the conversation to happen. I just don't want something to go left. Like, for example, I mean, they were throwing stuff at these guys. All it takes is a brick, and you clock somebody, and now the whole thing is gone. FUBAR. Okay, there's a guy holding a screwdriver. Give me a second. There's a guy holding a screwdriver. He ain't working on nothing. Why are you holding a screwdriver against these? Like, again, there's a lot of problems in this. That's what I'm saying. Like, crowd control is the problem, the main problem. So, like, for example,
here's my question.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Here's my question. You know why people thought it was okay to go online and say vile stuff about Charlie Kirk's murder? Because enough people weren't getting fired for it. You notice that rhetoric has toned down because people are now losing their jobs and their careers. You know why and again, I'm with you 99%. I agree with you. We can't have violence just for conversation. But you know why these kids think it's okay to throw bricks at people? And you know why it's okay to have screwdrivers in their head? Enough of them ain't been suspended yet. Enough of these kids ain't been expelled. They don't know what accountability is because they're at universities where they can do whatever they want, and they're going to, that mentality changes. Listen, I only had to get put in handcuffs one time before I figured out criminal life was not for me, at least not to get caught. They put me in cuffs one time, sat me in the back of that car, and I was like, this life is not for me. As crazy as I think I am, now I can't be in the back of this car. I'm too big to be back here. I'm about to break my shoulders. I'm back here sweating. I'm hungry. The cops is making fun of me, and they was black. I was like, oh yeah, this ain't cool. Y'all people make fun of you, and I'm back here. No, I only needed one set of handcuffs put on me to figure out. So I'm with you. It's got to be better. It's got to be. Yeah, I got you.
I just don't think so. And let me finish teasing this out. What would work, in my opinion, there needs to be a coalition of helping, because there are conservative Republicans at TSU, students. Right. There's some at Morehouse, and Spelman and Clark and Morris Brown. The problem is they don't know that there's anybody that thinks like them. So, in my opinion, reaching out, these guys would make a whole lot more progress. Reaching out to the Young Democrats Association and saying, hey, we're going to have an open table symposium over at the bookstore, 123 bookstore over in the corner. We'd love for you to come so we can talk about how blacks and whites all feel about the current economic situation in America. Everybody pays gas prices, and everybody's feeling it when they pump gas. So Democrats, Republicans, everybody can have that discussion. There's no way that you're going to build. This will not build inroads. I'm sorry. This will not build inroads. This is only going to build chaos and cause, because I want you to see some of the comments, because these are only two pictures. There's still more. Let me show you this.
Right.
So here's this. Like, this is crowd control issue, man. Like, all it would take is a brick, and his whole game changes.
No, I get you.
I mean, they're throwing stuff on. That's what I'm saying. Like, and given the fact that they did not have permission to be at the school in the first place, that's a lap too far.
Right. And that's why I said I'm 99% with you. I'm agreeing about the way that they did it. I'm agreeing about them not even being able to get permission. They should have got permission. I'm agreeing they should have went to the campus, and maybe even I'll go with you further this way. Maybe they shouldn't have worn "Make America Great" hats again.
I said it's just a little bit too. It's a little bit too provocative, because if you want to have a discussion, and again, I'm not saying it. I'm not quashing your free speech. I'm just recognizing that this is unsafe. Again, and I tell y'all the joke. If they had done this at Morehouse and Market Friday, they might not have made it out of there. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. They might not have made it out. it would be bad. They would be down bad for sure.
You know, here's not a good look. Here's the thing, is that the one thing that we've been hearing about, this is the thing that they've been saying, is that you know Milo is coming back, right? Milo Yiannopoulos, whatever his name is. Yeah, you know him?
No, who's that?
Oh, you don't know him. Okay. So there's this idea, or there's this theme, right? That Charlie Kirk was the nice guy they got rid of. Milo is the opposite, but just as big as Charlie Kirk, but he's uncensored. He's unfiltered. He's a conservative who used to be left, and now he used to be left leaning. He's a foreigner, but he's also a homosexual. And so his style is far more 1,000% more aggressive than Charlie Kirk's, right? So the meme that came out was like, Milo put up, I'm unretiring. He got 200,000 likes on X. The thing underneath it was like, you killed the nice guy, you get this guy, right? The thing is that these people have said you just created, let's say 10,000 more Charlie Kirks, right? That's what everybody's saying. Here's a problem with that, is that the people who are wanting to pick up this mantle, this is the thing about conservatives, and I'm not even trying to be cold about it. They're calculated, right? They're far more calculated than, instead of going out and burning up 1,000 buildings, right? They're going online getting people fired. They're like, we don't want to destroy buildings. We want to destroy your life. Like, we're not going to go the route where we're going to go to jail. We're going to get you in trouble because we're smart enough to know we got to go to work tomorrow. What I'm saying is that the people who are picking up these mantles, they've already watched their hero die. They've already watched the person that they stood up for and stood with and believed would get whatever the word is, so you don't get a channel strike. They've already watched him get murked online in front of everybody, and they still want to be like him. That's what makes this situation hard, is because you already know the end game. It's almost like being a Christian, but far greater. You already know the end game. Your belief as a believer can get you murked. It's supposed to. That's the only thing I believe can get you murked, other than possibly protecting your family. You ain't got to do all that for your job and all this other kind of stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that that's what makes this dangerous, is because people are now looking at, well, Charlie Kirk is going to stand up and risk his life for everything, for what he believes in, and save the country. That's why these guys didn't have a problem doing it, because they was like, we already watched him get targeted, so we already know what we're signing up for. And they picked a far worse environment. I don't even think they should have. That's like you said, they picked an environment that really put them in a place where they could be in danger. And so I think to a certain degree, that's where these people are going to come from. You're going to get the wild ones who don't care about whether these guys didn't care about whether they made it home safely. These guys did not care about that, because they've already seen the person that represented them take that. And so I think that's a dangerous point. To your point, we don't need no more Charlie Kirks. We just need dialogue at this point. So that's my viewpoint on that.
Yeah, I got you. And I want dialogue and discussion, because I don't think that people have heard the other side in a reasonable capacity to be able to say, you know what, I thought you felt a certain kind of way. Like, wait, you're concerned about gas prices too. Right. And you're concerned about your kids too. You're concerned about these things too. Oh, so there's a lot of things that you and I share in common. Maybe we can also, let me hear what you think about about tax policy. Let me hear what you say. I just feel like there's other ways to go about it. I understand your point. I'm only pointing this out, but let me just real quick read this. Today, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. That was the problem. And somebody mentioned it earlier when we watched the clip earlier. If they didn't have permission, then that was their fault. And again, if they didn't have permission and it went left, that I don't want that to be on an HBCU that these people, and again, the kids, I'm not saying the kids are right, but I'm just saying I don't want that to be on them, that they came over there and they did provoke it. But let's go. In accordance with the university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. That is not true. That is not true at all. That you can go ahead and take that out of there. The safety and well-being. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's crazy.
The safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TSU will continue to uphold university policies and ensure that campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. I think if they had reached out to the school and said, we would like to have a discussion, a symposium in the chapel, like to have a discussion in the lecture hall, I think they probably would have been able to do that. But now I don't think, now they're going to not be able to, because every other HBCU read this. So if they come down here to Georgia, all of them already know about this. And there's a high probability that they will not get a welcome that they could have got if they had just gone a better route. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's a question. Let me pose a question. Let me pose a question to you. The media is so left leaning. Do you think that they're telling the truth about this whole story? Because this summer, the Hebrew Israelites did church blitz. And you know what that was? They went to every black church blitz without invitation. They had a strategy. We found out what the strategy was. The strategy was to walk inside the church, get a conversation with one person, ask them to speak to the pastor. The pastor would say no. Then they would go outside and they would try to pass out paraphernalia, to which the deacons would ask them to leave. And then that gave them permission to go out on the sidewalk and hand out paraphernalia on the sidewalk, because the sidewalk was public property. Mm-hmm. So the thing was to go all the way in and get pushed all the way out. They went to 200 black churches, right? That's even the reason why the little Caucasian kid a long time ago who got the lawsuit with the hat on from CNN, he was the reason he got paid, because he had an altercation with the Hebrew Israelites. It wasn't even about the Indian group. That just happened to be a bystander. Media didn't cover that, honestly, at all. That was a complete fabric. And I was a part of that church blitz. They came to my church 3 times looking for me with guns.
You told me that.
Like they literally, they were loaded up with security. I'm gonna say guns. They had security, armed security, and they went to several other churches. And I could show you some videos where they actually got into altercations. None of that was reported online. I'm not saying that because I looked at the NAACP letter about the group. The group has an X account. They have 32,000 subscribers, to where they're actually telling you where they're going. So maybe they didn't get permission. I got it, but they knew they were coming.
I don't know if they did. And I don't know, but I think above. You didn't expect good things if you just rolled up on the school. Now I know they just rolled up on the school. You didn't have expectations of good things happening, because you didn't even go through the proper channel. You wouldn't do this. Maybe you could. Maybe you wouldn't do this at University of Georgia. Go Dogs. You just wouldn't do that. You still got to get a permit. You still got to get permission to set up a table and such. So now, sure, it might not have gone this wild, but like, why did y'all not go and go about the proper channels to have a discussion? Because again, if it went left, and if I show you the video, let me pull the video of how they were. Where is it? Right here. I have it. But if I show you the video,
letter from NAACP, urgent warning regarding antagonistic groups targeting HBCU's campus. And they use a sentence that says they were holding up inflammatory messages like deport all illegals now, and DEI should be illegal. And they're warning all HBCUs to avoid these inflammatory groups. Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to, and because they've done that, they're not going to be welcome to have a dialogue and they're now seen as antagonistic and inflammatory and all this kind of incendiary, all these other words, but they could have just gone about it the other way. Here, let me just show you real quick. This what.
Okay, you can't. Don't do that. Come on. Yo. Bring the sign back.
We're gonna do like a little end live pre-game or post-game situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck? Oh my gosh.
All right, so they're trying to leave the school, and the person in front of them just keeps slowing down, so they're not leaving. They're trying to leave, but they can't leave because there's a car basically blocking the street as they try to leave.
I'm trying to. I need to. The school is saying they were uninvited, but
They were not invited.
Right, but because I went through the blitz with the HBCUs, where were they at on the school?
What do you mean? They got to be
Where were
on
they
campus
located
because they got to be on campus because that's where campus police are. So somewhere in the perimeter of in the jurisdiction of campus police.
Because on their first, if you look at the picture on their Twitter, they're saying, it's to be clear, this table is not a protest, it's an invitation to compare your beliefs. This was September 22nd, early in the morning. In their first picture, there's a campus police truck right behind them before anybody shows up. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, if the school didn't give them permission to be there, how could an individual set up this entire tent? The campus police know about it, and they not. I'm gonna put the picture in the chat. Put the link in the chat.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying the campus police knew they were there. So at what point did the school say you're not allowed to be here, if the campus police knew they were there and they let this go on until the riot started? And then the narrative was like, well, they weren't invited. We didn't know they were here. So this is how it all went left. That's the only reason I'm asking, because this picture right here, if you put that picture up, there's a campus police truck within 30 feet of them before anyone shows up.
Hold on, I'm trying to, let me, can you put it in the private chat?
Yeah, I'll put it right here. And I'm not, again, I'm just trying to see, did the school know this was going to go left and they waited for it to happen? That's my question. See, put that picture up. Oh, you don't have to put it up. You can just look at it. You don't have to put it up. I don't need to.
No, I got you. Oh, Mike, this is a picture I just had.
Right. Well,
I just had this picture.
Well, did you not see the campus police behind
you?
it?
I saw the campus police. I didn't say it, but yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me, so everybody can see. I understand your point. I just pull it in for everybody. Sorry,
so my question is, my question is, did they manufacture this whole thing?
It wouldn't be.
It's just an honest question. If you know, listen, you put a picture up with two members of the Caucasian family from the mountains of Caucasus.
You're stupid.
On the screen, right? And it says DEI should be illegal, and it has all their Twitter tags, which is going to get them royally flamed. And then it says deport all illegals now. Let's talk. And you can you zoom into that picture?
Yeah, I'm about to right now.
What is that in the background?
Yeah, I mean, it's the campus police, man. Well, Mike, I don't disagree that the campus police were there. Now that I know that they didn't have permission to be there, maybe because during the little scuffle, the little dust up, you see the campus police in the as people are coming taking signs and so on and so forth. And I pull that back up. The campus police are there, so
right.
that's not. I'm not arguing that. If they're not supposed to be there and they didn't get proper permitting to be there, they put themselves in that position.
Hey, you can't
Right? Like there's a campus police right there.
No, I understand
So-
that. What I'm saying is that before this went left, TSU knew they were there.
As far as I know, because there's a faculty person right there, and there's the police right there. They're literally right there. So I'm like, why were the police not ushering them off if they didn't have permission to be there? Which I think is probably what you're saying, and I agree with it. But
So
I said it in my opening. I said everybody here is wrong. The students are wrong. The Fearless Tour is wrong. Now I can say that the campus police are wrong. There's a lot of things should have been done differently.
So the director of alum relations is saying, as of this evening, this is after everything, we are continuing to determine our investigation after reviewing all the video footage to determine how the individuals gained access to our campus. Is this a private school?
TSU is it's a private school.
Is it gated? Is it in the gated community?
I think every HBCU is gated. Yes, I believe it's gated.
That's a different gate. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
All I'm saying is that because it says the Metro Police and staff responded. They called the Metro Police, which is crazy. We stand in solidarity with our students and staff. We remain committed to ensuring our campus. As of this evening, we're trying to find out how they gain access to
our
public
school
environment.
It's a public.
It's public, right? So they just pulled up and set up a table on the lawn with the campus police watching them right behind them. And then when they went left, then they called the police. Then the people showed up. And listen, the crazy thing is, to what would be a Kirkish mentality, y'all chose to come up there and start ripping up signs and y'all the ones that chose up there and came up to be violent and be all that kind of stuff. That's my opinion. I know some people of the melanin flavor may not like it. It's okay. I got enough friends. I don't need no more. But at the end of the day, maybe they picked the wrong place to have a discussion, but they didn't start the fight. They didn't start the riot. They didn't start none of the violence. They didn't start any of that. That was all started by the side that we happen to be a part of that happens to do this 50% of the time. When the situation get turned up, we the first ones to turn up. I'm the first one to get loud and get something turned up, and before I get full context of what's going on, I won't even deny that. But to your point, it can't take place like this because it's not going to get anywhere. One, but two, the school got to be accountable for something. Man, they knew this was going to happen. Ain't no way two Caucasus Mountain members walk in there with red hats on and somebody don't see them. Somebody got a picture of this before it happened. And I'm sure the story's going to come out later that they may have had a contact on campus that told them where to sit that may be quietly a conservative, but can't say nothing because they might get the brakes beat off of them. That's my opinion. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I got a foil FUBU hat in the closet. That's what I got.
There you go. I hear you. I got you, brother. All right, what we got? What we got, man? Mike, real quick, man.
Jimmy Kimmel's lying, so we can get over that.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's a liar. So yeah, I don't hope that don't get you no copyright channel strike, but he lied to that whole monologue. Yeah, whole thing. I wasn't trying to all that little sissy crying and stuff. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Does he have a girlfriend? She can't be crying that much with a girlfriend. That's crazy. There was a statement up here I said we was going to talk about. It was way up at the top. My man, it started with a K. He said, I'm curious if the FCC chair will speak out against Fox News host Jesse Waters for joking about destroying the UN.
I don't know. This thing would be good. I mean, he should.
But should he? Should he? There's a difference between making an opinion and telling a lie, which is what Kimmel got in trouble for. He flat out lied. And if you're going to say that it was joking about bombing, destroying the UN, then you got to ban all comedy, because all comedy is offensive and all comedy is pretty much made up stories. That I think that's what people are missing here. They're missing the context of what Jimmy Kimmel said. He lied flat out. No, full stop. Not one. And actually, there is an FCC rule that somebody posted on X that if you are considered an informative station talk show, you cannot go online and tell a lie. There's an FCC rule that says to put out knowingly false information is a violation of your show, and your show could be canceled, which doesn't make sense to me because CNN does it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, there's an FCC rule that it says yeah, that's a good one. Conspiracy. I was kind of thinking of a good name. I like that one. I was
you
doing,
can take that.
I would, yeah. Well, I call her
Angel.
Well, no, I call her Candace Owens now. That's what I call her.
Conspiracy. Shout out to Amethyst Angel. Came up with that. Conspiracy, man. Watch my video with the Ninja Turtles yesterday.
Candace Owens is not too bad, but it ain't.
No, man. Conspiracy, man. That's just spiritual, bro. That's like, man, come on, bro. That's it right there.
Yeah, she's tripping, bro.
She on some different type of stuff.
It was so good. And just, after she became Roman Catholic, bro, she started tripping.
I argue that she was always tripping. She was under control.
Yeah, she flipped flavors, man. I don't know if she I don't know what's going on, man. I wish I could find that FCC law, man. FCC says that there is a rule. Its rule says basically you cannot, it's considered based on the classification of your show. So if your show is considered something factual, like a news show, that you cannot go online. And it says willfully spreading known information. So it's not even talking about if you mess something up. Like the rule was very clear. It said you can't spread misinformation about rule. Oh, here it goes. I don't know if this is right. Section 73 12 1.7, it says the rule prohibits broadcast licensing or permittees from broadcasting false information concerning a crime or catastrophe.
Okay.
If the licensee knows the information is false, if it is foreseeable that the licensee if it is foreseeable that the broadcast of the information will cause substantial harm, or the broadcast of the information does in fact directly cause substantial public harm. He violated part A, and he's saying he didn't know. He didn't even say he didn't know. He just said it wasn't my intention to blame one group or another. And what do you mean? You clearly said the MAGA gang is trying to.
Yeah, he said MAGA, right?
You're trying to make the MAGA gang. He's a part of the MAGA gang. So how are you not trying to spread which is like, now you're going online violating the rule again. You just told another lie, knowingly know that you lied.
Right. Yeah, we watched Jesus, the body language guy.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good folk, man. He's good people. And it was good to hear him breaking down. Yeah, his accent's crazy. I like his accent as well. But
you need to watch the video with him about Charlie's best friend. He has some interesting things to say about him.
Charlie's best friend. What do you mean?
Yeah, Charlie's best friend did a video with a podcast host, and he talked about how Candace wasn't telling the truth. But if I'm interpreting the video right, the body language guy didn't like his body language about the conversations.
Got it. I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
Yeah,
I just saw that one. I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, because he made some claims about the Catholic religion and what Charlie thought about it. Charlie was a lot more tolerable and peaceful than it's being communicated, but he wasn't thinking about becoming a Catholic like Candace said. And the best friend had communicated some things, and the body language guy was like, yeah, I don't really like the way he's saying it. It almost seems like there's more to the story or the conversation. He wasn't being negative. He just says, hey, you gotta, when you're, talking about your best friend so soon about that particular subject, you may want to watch how you communicate it to people, because your body language, I'm a body language expert. Now, I don't know if Again, I didn't perceive that he didn't like the guy. I just believe that some of his story was not. Maybe he shouldn't have been the one to say anything about it.
Right. No, I think you're on money. I agree.
I love that guy's channel.
Yeah, great channel.
If you watch us, invite Jason on. I'm not a podcaster, but invite Jason on. Invite him on your channel. By the way,
who?
guy. Jesus.
Oh,
I said
Jesus.
if Jesus Enrique Ramos, your body language expert, watches your channel, I'm telling him to invite you on.
I got you. Wow.
Put you on. You got 910,000 subs. Put you on, bro.
Man, come on, let's go, man. Let's get me on. Let's go.
I'm not a podcast guy. He is. I'm just a guy you tag in when you want me to say something he can't say. That's what I'm here for.
I love it. All right. Well, real quick, just in case people don't know, Mike, who are you?
Hey, I teach live streaming and podcasting and media. Work in a recording studio in Phoenix, Arizona. We rent out studio time. We do podcasting for people's podcasts. And then I do my own live streaming channel where I just teach people. The name of my channel right now is White Label Consulting. I'm considering changing that to your live stream consultant only because it'll be a lot easier to find. I do a ton of setups for churches, remote locally. I try to help people with their streams and also help with OBS. I'm an OBS aficionado, probably intermediate user, so I can show you how to do some things in OBS. I got some tutorials coming up that will help you use it for other things other than just streaming and recording. So that's who I am.
I like it. Well, welcome, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Did you make sure you drop your channel in the chat?
Oh man, I think one of your somebody gonna put it in there.
One of the mods probably did, but I always want to make sure people know how to find you if they want to learn how to use OBS better or become better at live streaming, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me find it real quick. I should just keep it pasted somewhere to where people know where my channel is at. And that they showed that one video about how Charlie Kirk was sitting next to Michael Knowles, and he was like, "Yo, it's not about calling it's about calling people to Jesus." Knowles was
right.
Whoa, hold on, bro. We didn't rehearse this. What you doing? That was hilarious. Oh, see, Future got me.
Future got you tight.
Yeah, Future got me.
Love
You got great mods. I wish I had mods. I mean, I don't go live enough to have mods. I'm a small guy. I'm not big like you Atlanta people, man. Y'all was all out here this weekend, bro. Man, the whole world was in it, Phoenix.
Right. Did you catch anybody?
Nah, I just saw him online. I knew it was busy. They said it took like 4 or 5 hours to get to the funeral. And then there were people in Phoenix who had been waiting there since 1:30 in the morning. So I knew if that was going to be able to see anybody, it was going to be slim because I know now that there was going to be crazy. A lot of those people were going right back to the airport.
Right.
So people flew in and they flew right out. So I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody in town. But I would have loved to see all those guys because I've seen them, talked to them before. April, Virgil, a lot of the other people and podcasters that were out here that I've seen and talked to just online. But I knew it was going to be crazy. Plus, it was a Sunday morning, so I had my church. I didn't get out the studio until like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And they were still, I think they were wrapping up the funeral like 3:30, something like that.
Yeah, they were still going.
Oh, yeah, because they started the whole broadcast on TP USA is 9 hours. I think they started the worship service. I think the funeral itself was only about 4.5 hours. But it was crazy because they had like a full, I want to say 2 or 3 hour worship concert. And none of the stations were showing that. They didn't want to hear nothing about no Jesus, bro. Nah. They didn't want to hear nothing about no Jesus. And then they got all that gospel in that funeral. So it was like, it was not a lot of singing, but I counted at least 4 or 5 references to a gospel message that I think the world needed to see. They weren't trying to hear Brandon Lake and all them people sing their songs at all.
I hear you. No, that was good though. We had 2 people that were there come on the channel on Monday to talk about it, and it was good stuff. And to hear, it was a pastor who actually out there Redeemer Bible with Virgil. His name's Kyle, and a Dr. Tracy Reynolds. Dr. Tracy Reynolds. She's over here. Yep, she works for Blexic, and really good conversation to hear what they thought, what it was like, boots on the ground, if you will. So that was good.
If we wouldn't have had church here. We probably could have shown the broadcast here on the screen because we can see it about 100, 120. And then our LED wall is 16 by like 9 feet. So we probably, for people that didn't want to go to traffic, they could have watched it here. I didn't know when it started. And then they said 11 a.m. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that. But, and then plus it going so many hours, then we would have had to close down the building all day.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. But hey, I rewatched the Erica Kirk portion and the JD Vance and the Marco Rubio portion. I was like, man, these people are affected, man. It's crazy. So
good stuff. All right, brother, check it out, man. I'm gonna get ready to get hustling and bustling.
Yeah, I got to go in here and start this Bible study for this other church that's renting out the building real quick.
Oh, okay, get at it. Well, brother, thank you so much, man, for hanging with us. I appreciate you stopping through.
Thank you for putting me on it, dear YouTube. Don't give him any channel strikes for anything I said. Put them on my channel. All right, you got my username.
Well, now wait. We hit 50,000. You're gonna come over and hang out with us and talk trash?
Who?
You. Thank you, Jolene, for the $10 super. She says this, Jason, please thank Brother Mike for me, please. His Branch Woodian video was an official breakaway from me. Oh, you know who? I'm a proud member of the infamous mob. LOL.
That is what's
man,
up. Man,
I hadn't even seen that word in so long. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Too. I just found my mob shirts. I got the transfers in the back. Yeah.
That's wild. Thank you so much, Jolene, for the $10 super for sure. No, I was gonna say when we hit 50,000, hopefully it'll be soon. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe.
Yeah, 49.8.
49.8. Like I think I need 800. Come on, y'all. If y'all had not subscribed, y'all come on, hit this button. Help your brother out. Don't make me beg.
You only need one more Candace or one more Umar video. I mean, realistically, not to ride the boat, but there's a few more aspects of this Kirk story that haven't been covered. I'll tell you.
Send them an email. Yeah,
there's a few more things in regards to politics that I think, and even with this Kimmel thing that's going on, a few more things that are because I'm starting to see a lot of commentary from people who are saying that identifying with the right is not
right.
And I'm just like, really? Yeah. So you identify with the left, or you don't like, or Jesus wasn't political? Okay. Romans 13, submit to your government. Look, so you submit it to the government to be crucified. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Teach in the context. Yeah. Just because you went to unnamed seminary doesn't make you an expert on the situation.
Yeah, wow.
I ain't gonna mention no names, but I think people know what I'm talking about.
If you know, you know. Wow. Yeah, all right. So at the current moment, just in case y'all need to know, I got 49,282. So I need 780 subscribers. Help your boy out. If you're not already subscribed,
you should hit
the like button.
You should no. You should put up a community post and have people guess on which day you'll hit it, and then give out some kind of prize or something. Like say how many days from now. That'd be good. Because 700, I'm saying it's gonna take you about 6 days from now. Maybe 5 to 6 days, you'll be at 50,000. I think so.
Or put in what number you are when you hit subscribe. Put your number in the chat. I mean in the comment section.
Okay. It says any more Tiffany Hayward videos. Maybe.
Okay, I just did one today.
Might as well do a Cardi B.
I just literally did a Tiffany Hayward today.
Yeah, you might as well do a Cardi B video. They tripping. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you the like culture. That. No, I'm not even mean. The culture. After Mr. Kirk had passed, like everything on Kirk was trending 1 through 10 on Twitter when it happened. The day after he passed on the September 11th, 9/11, Cardi B's album dropped, and the number 2 trending thing in the world was "Killing You Hoes," which is the name of her song on her album, which I thought was such a picture perfect picture of the dynamic of America. One day,
really,
all about one day it's all, and I think there's a way you can go back and find what the trend was, but that was which trend because her album came out, and so everybody was just like, "Yo, this song is the best song," and I'm just like, "Wow, we just went from kind of a peaceful nation to the day that 9/11 happens, the number 2. And I know it was only one group of people that had it trending like that, as far as those urban people that listen to hip hop. That was it. But I thought that was such a interesting dynamic for people to have to see in 24 hours. Forgiveness, most of the chart, rest in peace to that. Man, that's crazy.
That's out of control.
All right, I gotta go.
All right. Get out of here, brother.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
You got it, brother. Thank you, man. Grace and peace, man.
All right, later.
All right, that was Mike from White Label Consultants. Thank him. Friend of the channel, has been around since early on this channel. So I'm glad he was able to fall on through. Thank you so much again. Thank y'all very much for hanging out with us. Yeah, I got to look into that, Julian. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. Let me just say it like that. I didn't know Cardi B had a new album out, though. Like, I didn't know. She got a lot of problems. She got a lot of stuff going on. Bless her heart, man. Lord, save her. Save her, Lord, please. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this community post up there. If you have not, help your brother out. I'm trying to get 50,000 subscribers before the end of the month. I'm also trying to get 40,000 likes. So if you could help your boy out with that as well, if you haven't liked some of my videos, go back through and hit that little like button. It don't cost you nothing. It helps out a whole bunch. But then also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Help your boy out. That's it. I promise not to like put you on an ML, what's it called? Multi-level marketing, MLM email list. I promise I won't do that. I won't do it. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jolene. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jolene, for being the stream sponsor tonight. I appreciate you blessing this channel with great support. Thank you so much to all of the super chats and all of the members. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us. Thank you for your insight and your input. I'm looking forward to doing this again with you all real soon. Tomorrow's Thursday. I will be on A Righteous Perspective on Friday. The plan is, at least. I think we're doing it at like 9:30. I got to double check the time, but on Righteous Perspective with Wise and a couple other good folk, we're going to be talking about topics. So I'll be over there on Friday morning. And tomorrow, I think I'm just doing a live stream tomorrow afternoon, but I'll let you know ahead of time. Everybody, thank you all so much. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Y'all love your families, all that kind of good jazz. And I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.